some kind of Einstein on a diamond mine grind. She was dumb fine, but not quite the type that you might wanna wine and dine. Couldn't find a pen, had to think of a new trick. This one he wrote in cold blood with a toothpick. On second thought, it's too thick. His assistant said, "Doom, you sick." He said, "Cruise do acoustics, psycho." The flow is drowning Larry seasoning with micro power. He's sounding right reasoning. It's easy as pie. 3.14. One more, one fall smooth, and they done for. Hey yo, y'all know what time it is.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Open Debate Boxing Debate Arena live panel. We are broadcasting right after the Eubank Jr. sensational win over, what's this guy's name again? Avni Yildirim. Yildirim, of course. It was a good performance, and we're going to be talking about that and everything else related to boxing. If you want to join us, don't forget to contact us via the Hotmail address that's on the lower bottom left-hand corner of your screen, boxingdebate@hotmail.com. You call us, contact us through the Google Hangout, and we'll send you an invite, and you'll be able to come in here and talk to us about whatever it is you want to talk about. It doesn't even have to really do with boxing. We have loose rules here at the Boxing Debate Arena. Anything goes. Joining me as always is the one and only King Bucho. King, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, so the fight just ended, the fight between Chris Eubank Jr. and Avni Yildirim. I'm going to start with you, Bucho, before we let anybody else in here. What did you think of the fight?
Oh,
come on.
What's the guy's name? Yildirim?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was trying to fight like fucking Mickey Ward. But the only difference was that, with the high guard and shit.
Right.
The only difference was that this guy wasn't throwing anything, meaningful at least, like he never threw anything, man.
Yeah,
yeah, he just got outboxed, man, and overpowered. I mean, I didn't know that Eubank Jr. had this type of power. I was surprised.
I knew he had the type of power because I'd seen him, seeing his fights before, seeing him sparring, and especially seeing videos where he's hitting the bag. You can tell he's got a lot of velocity and speed on his punches. Like the commentator said after the fight, he doesn't have one-punch knockout power, but he has a type of power that's hard to see coming, and which will break you down if you take too many of his shots. It's interesting because, like you said, what's his name again? Yildirim? Oh, no, sorry. I'm getting his name wrong.
Yildirim.
Yeah. I'm just saying yeah, but I'm not saying the name. Yildirim, yeah. Yildirim, you were right. He was fighting like Mickey Ward. Hands up, not a lot of head movement, but at least Mickey Ward knew how to fight on the inside. This guy didn't even know how to fight on the inside.
He didn't.
When's the last time you saw a guy that comes forward and then once he gets inside, he doesn't know what to do?
That's basically what happened, right? Like he was there, he was close range, and he wasn't throwing anything. It's like, well, what kind of style is? I thought his style was to come forward and put pressure and throw punches. He wasn't doing that.
Yeah, I know. He's not a good inside fighter. He wasn't on Chris Eubank's level, and that's saying something because a lot of people underestimate Chris Eubank Jr. The guys we bring out here like Reverse Lee, Victor Atkinson. They don't think of him very highly, but it's apparent right now that Chris Eubank Jr. is improving with each fight, and that he is one level above this type of European guys that don't really know how to fight on the inside. They still fight squared up a little bit, chin up. It's he can do something in the super middleweight division.
I guess so. I mean, but who was he fighting, to be honest? I don't know who this guy was. Yildirim there. Like, seriously, was that really a big opponent? Fuck, no.
No, but at least he took him out like he was supposed to. I give him credit for that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, don't forget about the Billy Joe Saunders fight, though. What did fucking Eubank do there, right?
Exactly, but then again, that was a Chris Eubank that wasn't really experienced enough yet, I believe. I think things would be a lot different now. Well, I mean, both guys are in different divisions, but if they fought, it would be a close one, man.
I guess so. I mean, the middleweight division, the super middleweight division is it's a bit different now. I mean, Badu Jack was in my opinion, one of the best super middleweight at the time. Now he's in the light heavyweight division. So
let me check again the ratings for the super middleweight division. I'm gonna go check out the Ring TV, i.e. Ring Magazine ratings, because right now the slim pickings in the super middleweight division, and now people are saying, you know, people in the chat right now, guys like Marvin Mantis and you know, Sam Langford are saying that Chris Eubank Jr. is going to cruise through the tournament, and it's hard to argue against that because I mean, who else is in there? We have Jamie Cox, who I've never actually seen fight. Yildirim's out. Callum Smith, okay, he's a good guy. He's a good one. Bragmer, I don't know about him. Rob Bryant's another guy that I've never seen fight. The only name that I recognize in there is George Groves, and I don't know how much he's got left, man, because he was struggling against Martin Murray. And Martin Murray is a good fighter, but Chris Eubank has different type of hand speed and power, and he's not that hard to hit. I mean, he's not that easy to hit either.
Well, no. I mean, I don't know. He hasn't been tested, so I can't tell, man. I mean, yes, Yildirim couldn't hit him, but fuck, I mean, the way he was throwing his punches was completely, I mean, didn't look very professional, to be honest.
Well, actually, this last exchange before the stoppage against Yildirim, he was actually, when he started that volley of punches, I actually thought, what the fuck's he doing? He's swinging very widely. I think he's going to get tired near the end of the round, but he caught the Turk and was able to put him out. But I'm still thinking, I would like to see Chris Eubank Jr. against George Groves, who's supposed to be one of the guys that's going to get to the finals of this. Or, I mean, I don't know if they're going to fight next. I don't know how the tournament is structured. But I also would like to see him against Andrade Dirrell or Anthony Dirrell, guys that have good hand speed, explosiveness, and who are experienced against some of the best super middleweights out there. So, Chris Eubank Jr., I still don't know what to make of him. I think he's got good skills, definitely has the physical talent to go somewhere in the professional ranks. But, you know, I still want to see him against somebody that can actually fight back.
Exactly. We can make a proper. I mean, we can say this guy's a bomb. We can say he's bad. We can say he's good. His only memorable fight was Billy Joe Saunders.
Right.
So, I mean, we can't really make a proper assessment of how good he is.
You're right. It's absolutely right. You're absolutely
I mean, it
right.
was an impressive knockout, impressive stoppage. But that's pretty much it.
Now,
hopefully, as he progresses throughout the tournament, we can actually see, you know, how good he is. No, I mean, he. I don't know who he's fighting next. Is it Josh Groves or the winner of Groves Cox or?
I don't know how they structure this shit. Let me see. Okay, so apparently it would be. Yeah, I think he would fight the winner of George Groves, Jamie Cox.
See, that would be a good fight. That would be. I think Groves is gonna win. So. That would be. That's a good fight where we can actually make a proper assessment of how good he is. So.
Absolutely. Let me just see if I can. I'm talking with Split D here. See if he's gonna come in. And by the way,
he's gonna join us.
By the way, was it what's his name? Was it the Turk's trainer that was talking shit before the fight?
Yeah, he was like telling somebody in Eubank's entourage that he said like he's gonna fuck his wife.
Okay. He actually put up a better fight than his fighter, than Yildirim.
Yeah, man.
I mean, let's see what he said here.
Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. I'll fuck your wife in your bed. I'll fuck your wife in your bed.
I fuck your wife in your bed. Yeah,
that's what I say when somebody steals a French fries from me, you know.
What's that?
When somebody steals a McDonald's French fry.
Right, that's what you say.
Yeah, I used to start yelling like that.
But let me tell you something. These guys get very emotional before fights. Usually it's the guys that know their fighter is going to lose that end up acting like maniacs before the fight. Because, I mean, if you're confident, why do you have to bark that much? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that guy looks like he has a Napoleonic syndrome going.
Oh, he was a short guy?
I think so. And then when they held him back, that's when he started to act like more like, you know, like resisting and shit.
Right, right. That's what I always
Like
do.
he's gonna hit him.
Yeah, like Angel Garcia, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Angel Garcia, where when he knows there's people in the press conference are gonna go hold him back, he starts talking shit. And then when there's nobody around, whoops, all of a sudden he looks like a completely different person. Like if you didn't know who Angel Garcia was and you saw him when there's no security around, you think, oh, this guy, you know, he looks like a Puerto Rican leprechaun. He's harmless. But then when he's in the conference, he starts screaming and cursing, and it seems like he wants to fight. And I mean, I don't know this fucking guy. But yeah. Evil Dream's corner, Yildirim's, I should say, corner, put up a better fight than his own fighter. And I'm reading here about Jamie Cox because it's a guy that I have never seen fight. I'm going to have to get caught up on his fights and watch some of his fights on YouTube. But I'm reading an article from The Sun, and it says, boxing champion Jamie Cox, this is from 2006, by the way. Boxing champion Jamie Cox jailed for throttling his exotic dancer ex-girlfriend and threatening to kill her, quote, the Irish way. King Butcher,
Are you serious, man?
what the hell does killing somebody the Irish way mean?
Jesus, I don't know. Stuffing.
Is it like the gangs of New York? You know, remember that fat guy who had a big club and would club people to death?
Probably. I don't know. Maybe it's like a stripper. You said.
It says exotic dancer ex-girlfriend. So exotic dancer could mean stripper. It could mean just like a burlesque show or something, which isn't technically.
Maybe he's shoving Lucky Charms down her throat or something.
Yeah, who hasn't done
You want
that,
some
brother?
milk with that bitch? Just fucking putting some milk there.
Hey man, don't knock it till you've tried it, man.
Choking a hooker, a dancer, or what was it? Yeah.
Exotic dancer, technically. Exotic.
I don't know
dancer.
what the Irish
Fuck
way
me
is.
up the ass with your hot teenage cock.
Is the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
And you know, by the way, he doesn't look like a psycho though. If you look at Jamie Cox, he looks like like a normal person. Like he's all smiling, but deep down inside, he's fucking shoving down Lucky Charms through a hooker's throat. I mean, what the fuck?
You know, Lucky Charms, they're fucking delicious. I don't know why you would waste them, shoving them up a fucking stripper's cunt.
Man, I still eat that shit.
You know, if you really wanted to do some damage, you would shove some Captain Crunch up your cunt. That would shred the motherfucker up.
Those things are sharp, man.
Those things are sharp. All right.
I don't know. For kids, what the fuck is that? They used to fucking cut my gums and shit, man. Alright, moving on. We're talking about nonsense here.
What do you mean nonsense? This is what the people want to hear. All right, Split D is ready to come in. Let me just invite him here. All right, I don't know why the Split this. I'm gonna send him a. I don't understand why I used to write the names on the Google Hangouts, and I would just write the first name and then it would appear, but.
Yeah, you have to type the whole email or something.
Yeah, and I don't even know what's his email again.
Jesus, ask him.
I will. So, King Butcher, have you ever threatened a stripper?
Oh, really? They fall in line pretty quickly.
Because they have daddy issues, that's why.
Exactly.
Alright, I'm gonna ask him for his
Yeah,
email.
but by the way, you can trust the fucking Sun newspaper though.
Well, that's the thing. It's a fucking yellow journalism, right? It's
Garbage, man.
It's a tabloid, I should say. Well, then again, some tabloids, they get it right, like the New York Post. They're able to get some inside scoops every once in a while.
Yeah, what the fuck is Marvin Mantis talking about?
There is a fight
Eat
here.
it.
Eubank versus Gross will be good. Eat it. You eat farts. He must be high or something.
Farts.
Yeah, he must be high or something. Which is what we want here at the Boxing Debate Arena. We want people to be honest. You know, when people get high, it's just like when they get drunk, they speak the truth.
We want the truth.
That's all you've got, the truth, man. And here at the Boxing Debate Arena, that's what we thrive on, the truth. Alright, Split D is about to come on, and we're gonna get to the bottom of things here. Split D, are you there?
I am here. What's up, guys?
All right.
we
What's up?
just- Oh, come on.
Oh god, what the fuck's that?
Well, at least the volume is not all the way up anymore. By the way, Split D, you said you can call me Scott. Doesn't really quite have the same ring as Split D.
Yeah, whatever you want to call me is cool, man.
All right. I'm going to call you Split D.
That works for me.
Right, the splitter. Because you break women in half.
Jesus.
Maybe 20 years ago.
Well, we were just talking about Jamie Cox, who's going to be participating in the super middleweight tournament. Apparently, he's being accused of, or he was accused of, what is it? He threatened to kill his girlfriend the Irish way. I don't know what the hell that means. You think,
like with a shillelagh?
a shillelagh? What the hell is that?
What?
It's a fucking Irish club to beat you use it to beat the shit out of people with.
we were talking about that.
Yeah, like the guy from Gangsta New York, right?
Google shillelagh.
Well, let me see.
Jesus. Just like the Gangs of New York in the movie, remember?
Yeah.
The guy had like a huge thing with an iron ball at the end. I think that's it. It's like a stick.
It is a stick. It's not something else.
Ass-kicking stick.
It's an ass-kicking stick, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was gonna look for a photograph, but by the way, Split D, when you're talking, you sound kind of broken up. You know, the audio.
Is that better?
I think it's the phone or the connection or something.
Let me check it out.
Yeah, please. Meanwhile, I'll post a photo of this club we're talking about. No, that's not it.
So you hit hookers, strippers with that, or?
Well, you can beat up pretty much anybody you want, but strippers, I mean, if you're not gonna beat up a stripper, what the hell are you doing beating people up anyway?
Did some better guys?
No, it's maybe hold on.
Call him back. Hang up and call back. No.
Yeah, hang up. And
okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
All right. Meanwhile, I will post the photo if I can find it.
Well, my son is one of the greatest fighters.
Yeah. By the way, I'd never seen or heard, I should say, Chris Eubank Jr.'s talk. He's talked just like his father.
Somewhat.
It was kind of creepy.
His father's more like, yeah, he's creepy as fuck, man.
I mean, I don't sound like my father. Yeah, maybe if you, the cadence or something, but he sounds exactly like his fucking father.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, his father sounds more like fucking bourgeois.
Okay, but I'm saying the voice sounds the same, not the cadence or the rhythm or whatever, but the voice itself, the sound itself.
The voice, probably, man.
What do you mean, probably? You know what? I'm gonna pull the audio and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about, man. Because I don't even think you listen to the guy talking. You're just saying, "Oh no, he doesn't sound like him." When's the last time you heard Chris Eubank Jr. talk?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Right.
It's always his father who's doing all the talking, though.
Okay, but I mean, what I'm saying is,
my son.
By the way, I got the picture of the club here, something like that.
Go.
I would assume that's what they were talking about.
Oh yeah, that's it.
But I mean,
Jamie Cox used it to hit a stripper.
But I don't even know if that's what it means. Well, I'll read the article more for more information, and I'll keep you guys up to date. I gotta get. Call me to phone the pump. Okay. So let's read the article here. The 29-year-old WBO European super middleweight title holder is said to have sent up to 600 abusive texts a day to exotic dancer ex-girlfriend Victoria Givovaskaja. That doesn't sound like an English name.
Oh, sounds like some East European.
Well, no shit. Well, okay, and then it says the thug. Oh, they're calling him a thug. The thug also threatened to send nude pictures of her to her family before forcing his way into her South London flat and squeezing her neck so tight she thought she would pass out. Maybe he was just being a little too rough, but I mean, that doesn't sound exactly like he threatened to kill her. Cox, whose real name is Jamie Roussan, has said, oh, that's not even his real name? I knew, it sounded like a porn star's name.
I know, it sounds fake.
Jamie Cox, come on. Like Derek Winters or something. Nobody needs that fucking name.
Sounds like cock.
Well, C-O-X, that's how you spell the name. Sounds a little bit too on the money, if you ask me. All right, while I read the article, can you deal with inviting Split D back into the chat?
I can't.
Uh-huh.
You have to do that shit.
I have to do it. Oh, hold on. Oopsie daisy. So yeah, Jamie Cox is...
So Jamie Cox is a choker, man.
I wonder if he's going to employ a similar tactic once he steps into the ring against...
I don't think he can choke in the ring, but...
But he could try. I mean, you're not supposed to choke people in real life either, but he's obviously doing it, so... All right,
I wonder if the stripper's still with him.
Let me continue the article. It says... he admitted to breaking into the flat in July 2015, but he said he was worried that his ex-girlfriend had taken her own life. That's always the excuse I use. An account rejected by magistrates last month. Split D, you're back. Split D, you're back. Alright, he'll be back soon. Cox, Swindon-based Cox was given a 26-week jail term for assault using violence to secure entry, harassment, and criminal damage at Croydon Magistrates Court today. Cox, a 2006 Commonwealth Games gold medalist, who was undefeated in his 25th career, made no reaction when sentenced. See, that's a cold-blooded killer right there, man. He didn't react when he was sentenced. He took it like a man. Props to Jamie Cox, or as his real name states, what's his real name again? Swindon. No, that's not his name. Jamie Rusan. Props to you, Jamie Rusan. You took it like a man. Split D,
what
you
the
there?
fuck was his sentence, though?
What's his sentence? It doesn't say.
Yeah. It's weird.
I'm reading here. She became frightened. Blah blah blah. No, it doesn't say. It doesn't say. See, these women that say, "Oh, you know, he tried to kill me. He's got a short temper. He tried to kill me." Well, didn't you know that when you started going out with him? The guy's a professional boxer. He always likes to fight. And I'm pretty sure when he was fucking your brains out, he wasn't doing it in a gentle way. So while all of a sudden she goes like, "Oh, I can't believe he's so violent."
She probably liked it.
She probably liked it, yeah. Split D, are you back?
I'm back. Can you guys hear me?
Oh,
yeah,
that's
perfect.
much better, much better. It sounds crisp. It sounds crisp, man.
Cool. One of my kids was playing with my soundboard, so...
Oh, you got a soundboard, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Try it out.
No, but do you have sound effects on that, or it's for the guitar?
No, yeah, it's just a sound mixer, not an actual sound effect board.
Yeah, kind of like this.
BDA has a good sound.
Foul tongue on
try
me,
it.
my friend.
That is pride.
I could get upset. Things could get out of hand.
That's
That was Jamie Cox's recording, though.
Yeah, that's
To show this asshole we mean business.
fucking Jamie Cox, man.
Before he choked the stripper.
That's right. All right. Split D, did you watch the fight?
Which one?
The Eubank Jr. fight.
Yeah, yep, sure did.
What'd you make of it?
Well, I had predicted that Eubank was going to win. I thought he'd stop the other guy probably sometime around the middle of the fight. But when he dropped him in the first round, I don't know, man. I kind of thought it would end early, and it did. What was the other guy's name? I can't pronounce it.
Yildirim.
Yildirim. Yeah, that guy. The guy reminded me a lot of Arthur Abraham. Like his inactivity, his low work rate, and his high guard. I don't think Eubank Jr. is a great fighter. He's probably not even as good as his dad was, but he's like a B-level guy. But I kind of favor him to win the tournament, and he took care of business today. So
yeah, you got it right there. People were saying that Yildirim was like a B version of Arthur Abraham, and when Chris Eubank got to Abraham was already old. So he was just essentially fighting a crappier, well, I shouldn't say crappier, but I'm going to say it anyway. He was fighting a crappier version of Arthur Abraham. At this point, he's poised to fight the winner of George Groves versus Jamie Irish-style Cox. And that the conventional thinking is that Groves is going to win that fight. Now, who would you favor in the fight between Chris Eubank Jr. and George Groves?
I think Eubank Jr. only because he's fresher. The Groves had those two brutal wars with Carl Froch, and he's had some big wars since then too, and I think he's just a little spent. But I think it's a good fight. I think it's an entertaining fight.
Yeah, it should be. And George Groves, like you said, he also had a bit of a tough fight after with Badou Jack and Martin Murray. So
yeah,
it's hard to know how much he's got left, huh?
Yeah, I think Groves is better. Best days are behind him, but I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna put on a performance like Yildirim did today. That guy's like C- D level fighter.
Yeah, that's
Groves
what I was
is a bit better than that.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling King Butcher earlier. I said this fucking guy, Yildirim, or what's his name again?
Yildirim.
Yildirim, yeah. He's coming forward, and he doesn't even know how to fight on the inside. I'm thinking, what? He's the pressure fighter, but once he got inside, he didn't know what to do.
No.
Chris Eubank Jr. actually, he actually beat him up on the inside. Chris Eubank Jr. has good power, good hand speed. And I think he's getting better with each fight, man. I think he's going to be able to make something if he continues this course. I think he might be able to make something happen at 168.
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll probably win the tournament. If he does, I mean, who else is out there? We got Badou, not Jack. Jack's moved up. And
well, let me see here.
But we have
I'm looking
James
at the
Gale.
graphic.
Who else is at 168?
Oh, I thought you were talking about...
Benavidez.
Yeah, Benavidez. Yeah, that'd be a good fight. I think Benavidez probably beats Eubank.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I think so. I think because of what we saw today, a lot of people are talking about Eubank as if he's something he's not. He's a B-level guy who lost to Billy Joe Saunders and has constantly fought really soft opposition, even today. So when you beat up on your kids. Of course, you look like you look like the champion of the world. You know what I mean? We'll see when he gets in there. With somebody on the A level or the elite level. But and not to say that Benavidez is at that level either, but I think Benavidez might take it to him.
I think it would be a very entertaining fight, man. Both guys,
yes.
Especially Benavidez, he's a tall guy, but he likes to fight on the inside. And I get the feeling that Chris Eubank Jr. is also a bit of a he gets his best work done when he actually closes the distance. So that should be a very good fight. I don't think I asked you this in the past broadcasts, but what do you make of the Terrell brothers? I mean, can they still make something happen at 168, or do you pretty much consider them gone at this point?
Are you talking to Bucho or me?
Well, to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, you and I actually I think I turned it into like a 2-hour conversation with you.
Yes.
When it was just you and I on the air. Those guys... Andre was always the more talented of the two.
Right.
I think Anthony fucking sucks. He's just God. He's so sloppy and he smothers his work, falls all over his opponent.
Right.
He's never really been in tough. And Andre Uzkatagi, however you pronounce that guy's name, took it to Andre. I thought he was beating the crap out of him. So. I don't see him as threats at 168. I think they're more at this point in their career. I think they're both gatekeepers.
Okay, so now let's put it into perspective. Then, how would you think they would do against Chris Eubank Jr.?
I think Eubank beats Anthony, and I think Andre probably drops the decision to Eubank. Just because he's much older now, when he had his youth and his legs underneath him, I definitely think Andre would have beat Eubank. Just pot shot him and moved around the ring. But this year or next year, no way.
Whoa! So you give him a tight window, after which he would definitely lose to Chris Eubank Jr. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't see either of the Durrell brothers beating him. Not in this day and age. Maybe a few years back. Yeah, no problem.
That's
at least Andre, not Anthony.
Now I'm looking at this. Apparently, Chris Eubank Jr. is the mandatory now for David Benavidez' WBC title. Should he make it out of the super middleweight tournament, he would probably want to fight Benavidez, but what if he gets offered James DeGale? That would be a mega fight in England.
That's the money fight because they're both Englishmen, so that's probably what's going to happen. I'd rather see the Benavidez fight, obviously, but hey, you never know.
Yeah, that would be a more what am I saying here? A more logical step, to see where Eubank Jr. is at right now. I think even his management would want to put him in against DeGale right away. Do you think that DeGale is the cream of the crop right now at 168, or?
I don't know. That's a good question because 168's, I kind of look at it as kind of soft, or not kind of, really soft right now. I think the guys at the top like DeGale and Ramirez, those guys, and even Benavidez, they're not like, I mean, some of them might be elite talents, but none of them really strike me as, it's not like at 160 where you've got Lemieux and Golovkin and Canelo, you've got these guys that people do not want to fight. At 168, nobody's really going to avoid one another. So,
yeah, it's not what it was 5 years ago or even 3 years ago. That's for sure.
No.
Now, looking at
there's no one that's impressive.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Now, this is a subject you guys are going to like. Looking at the boxing landscape for the past week, apparently the Wilder-Ortiz fight is off. And from what they're saying, it's going to be Deontay Wilder against Stiverne 2. What do you guys think about that?
I'll let you go first, Bucho.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I think this time Wilder's going to actually stop the fat cruiserweight, Stiverne. He's a fat cruiserweight, let's be honest. He's not even, he's not supposed to be a heavyweight. You look at his physique, he's like, you lose a few pounds, you are at 200. You can fight at the cruiserweight limit. So this time around, I mean, this fight is going to be... When are they fighting again? November?
November 4th.
Oh. See, I'm pretty sure this time around, Steven's going to come into the fight even fatter.
Okay. And
he's going to get stopped. Can we blame Wilder, though?
You know what? I don't blame Wilder, and I'm not really a conspiracy person, but when I listened to Victor Conte was on the next round with Steve and Gabe this last Monday, and listening to Victor Conte talk about how PEDs and juicing works and doesn't work, and what actually happened in this in this scenario, I'm inclined to believe that there was no intent to cheat on Ortiz's part. I mean, I take the same medication for blood pressure that Ortiz takes, and I'm telling you right now, man, the only thing that does aside from control your blood pressure and your heart rate is make your joints ache and your muscles sore. It doesn't have any kind of, it's not beneficial to a fighter to take. Right. It's not going to push you to the next level with stamina or anything like that. It's just to control your blood pressure, and the side effects suck. So, the fact that the WBC pulled their sanctioning from it, it just I don't know why they did that, and why Wilder and his team didn't push or say, hey, no, we still want Ortiz. They were just kind of quiet on it and let the WBC say, this fight's not happening anymore. So, I don't think there's anything necessarily nefarious behind it, but I think it was a real shitty move on the WBC's part.
That doesn't make sense. I mean, if it's been proven that it's the medicine that did that, and like you're saying, there's no benefit to his performance, why is the WBC judging this way? I mean,
right. I don't know if you guys saw the article on Twitter where the WBC said they're concerned for the health of Louis Ortiz, so they want him to be seen by a physician first to make sure that the blood pressure medication isn't going to negatively affect him or his blood pressure isn't out of control. But the dude's been on this shit for 2 years.
Right.
And I've been on it for almost 4, and I'm telling you, my blood pressure is normal. It has no, and I go to the gym anywhere from 3 to 6 days a week, and I play racquetball hard. You know what I mean?
Right.
And my doctor.
Now they say that medicine masks or is able to mask other substances.
I don't buy that.
I read, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't buy that. That sounds like bullshit.
Ortiz on ESPN Spanish said that he forgot to, because if you are taking that type of medication, you're supposed to report it.
Right. And now
And he said he forgot. Yeah, exactly. So
right. Yeah. No. And I agree. That's on him and his team. But you know, I still don't think it's something that they should have called the fight off. You know, over. It seems kind of. It seems like overkill. Those drugs don't help you cheat, and they don't give you any. There's no benefit to taking them outside of, you know, keeping you from having heart failure at some point. You know.
Yeah, this is very fishy. It seems like it's almost as if Deontay Wilder's team wanted a way out. But like you said, conspiracy theory mode would dictate that, but we just don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, before I believe something like that, I've got to see evidence. I don't see any evidence of Wilder looking for an out, but you know, like I said, they didn't push for the Ortiz fight. They weren't, you know, hey, let it go ahead. You know, it was just, well, the WBC said this, and now we're gonna fight Stiverne. You know, it's like, fuck, you know, and that's a crap fight. That's trash.
What has Stiverne done since losing to? I'm gonna check it out.
He got knocked down not long ago, and he looked really bad against either the last guy he fought or the guy before that.
Let's see.
And he's done nothing to earn the mandatory position.
Okay.
Nothing.
He fought once. He's fought once since losing to Deontay Wilder, and that was in 2015. So he didn't fight at all in 2016 or this year as well. He fought Derek Rossi, who's got 10 losses on his record. And it says here, Rossi knocked down Stiverne in round 1 for a 10-8 round. Stiverne outworked Rossi to win 5 or 6 of the next 9 rounds. Unanimous decision. Now, I don't know how... Do you know how he was dropped?
No, I didn't actually see the fight.
Okay.
I just saw the articles.
See, whenever I read, he did enough to outwork the other guy, I'm thinking outworking somebody is not going to work with Wilder. We already saw Stiverne try that in the first fight. He's going to need to knock Wilder out because he can't outwork him and he can't outbox him.
And you know what? Stiverne, I mean, if Stiverne has anything left, I mean, he's not the biggest puncher, but he has some pop. Mm-hmm. You know, if he can connect on that glass chin of Wilder's, then there could be an upset. But you know, puncher's chance is basically, you know, the equivalent of one of us winning the lottery. So
yeah,
you know, it's probably not going to happen. I think Wilder knocks him out early this time.
Quite possibly, because he does have that type of power in his right hand.
Right.
And I mean, if you look at it, some people, I remember before the first fight, before the first Wilder-Stiverne fight, I was actually wondering how Wilder was going to take that shot, and so were a lot of people. I still think, like you said, that Stiverne could land that one lucky punch, but Stiverne's not that young a guy, by the way. He's
No, and like Bucho said, he's a fat cruiserweight. I mean, he's like 40, 50 pounds overweight. You know, and that's like me. I'm 5'6". I'm 5'6", and I weigh 180 pounds. That'd be like me going to fight at cruiserweight right now.
Right.
You know, that's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, those guys would just stomp on me. You know.
Right. Look at this. He was born in
When was the last time Stiverne fought?
It was 2015, I think.
Yeah,
I don't think he fought last year at all.
How the fuck is he still ranked top in the top heavyweight for the WBC?
Don King.
Well, yeah, Uncle Don still has some juice left.
Nah.
He's the Al Heyman of the 80s and 90s, man.
Exactly. He still has some of that magic left.
Yeah, I guess so.
Now, I was reading Boxing Scene right now when I was looking through the some information regarding Wilder versus Stiverne. Apparently, Miguel Cotto is going to fight Saddam Ali in Madison Square Garden.
Oh.
I mean, look, Saddam Ali was looking quite good for a while there until he lost to Jesse Vargas. But
right.
I mean, look, young dude, he's skilled, he's got a good amateur background. That's as good a fight as you can ask for a farewell bout, no?
Yeah, I don't like the fight. I'm just one of those boxing fans that, you know, Cotto's a Hall of Fame fighter, or he will be at some point. I want to see the guy go out. You know, he doesn't have to go out against, you know, like they were talking about David Lemieux. I think that's a really bad idea. But
yeah.
You know, The common guy fight, I think, would have been should have been his farewell fight. It was a very winnable fight for Cotto, and it wasn't a very hard night for him. But common guy at least brought it. I mean, Ali, he's not exciting. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just kind of a. I mean, we're all going to watch it because that's the last time we're going to see Miguel Cotto. We're not going to watch it because it's a competitive bout. So. It's not exciting to me. Other people might find it exciting though.
Yeah, you're right. It's not. If you're talking about excitement, this isn't the most exciting fight out there. I gotta wonder though, who else would have been out there? Like you said, Lemieux. You said it was a bad idea for Cotto, but that would actually have been a good idea for us because it would have been an entertaining fight.
They have to have the casket next to ringside. David would just trounce him and put him in a coma.
Yeah, he's a big dude, huh?
Yeah, well, especially, and I know that Lemieux's team said no to a catchweight, right. And if Cotto would have fought David at 160, that's Cotto's funeral, man. Especially at Cotto's 37 and David's 29 or 30, and the way David fights, no way, Cotto, that would be worse than the first Margarito beating.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. Now, I was actually thinking that fighting Liam Smith, who's a conventional type of boxer there, that would have been a good fight, but I know Liam Smith has a rematch coming up. So... Yeah,
I don't think that would have been a bad fight. That would have been okay.
Right, because it's somebody that Cotto could potentially stop.
Right, and he's got the name. He's been in he's been in boxing news recently. I mean, Saddam Ali, who? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Has he even fought on TV since losing to Jesse Vargas?
I honestly watch any day boxing's on, and I have no idea. What does that tell you?
Yeah, but then again, I mean, like I said, who else could he have fought? I mean, I look at the middleweight rankings here, but I'm scratching my head trying to figure out who else could have been out there. I mean, there must be somebody better than Saddam Ali, right?
There's gotta be. I mean, I'm trying to think who we have at junior middleweight that. Even in the in the top 5 or top 10, that's God. It just I don't know. I don't like to see guys go out soft like that. I want to see a guy go out like Klitschko did against Joshua. Vlad didn't have to take that fight. You know what I mean? Right. And he almost took the rematch. And that was either the first fight or the second fight was going to be his goodbye fight, and he went out like he was. He went out like a champ. Or that's how we're all going to remember Vladimir Klitschko. We're going to remember. We think about Cotto in the next 5 or 10 years. Oh, that guy that lost to Margarito, and the guy that got knocked out by Pacquiao, and the guy that fought some guy nobody knew about on his way out. That's You
think he could still make 147?
I don't know. At 37. And having fought at 154 and 155 for so long,
right?
That might be tough. That might be really tough.
Because I was gonna reach and say, maybe he should fight Jeff Horn, but.
Man, that'd be a great fight.
Yeah, but can he even make? Or maybe he could make Jeff Horn come up for a catchweight or something.
Oh, I don't know if Jeff Horn and his team would agree to that, just because of the, their win over Pacquiao. But man, that just because Horn recently beat Pacquiao, I think that's a hell of a fight.
Yeah, I don't know why more people aren't looking for Jeff Horn. I remember back in the day, if somebody beat a big name, they would throw him right away in there into the wolves. Like, for example, when Carlos Baldomir beat Zab Judah, all of a sudden everybody wanted a piece of him because he had the linear welterweight title, and Mayweather wanted to fight him, Margarito wanted to fight him, maybe even De La Hoya was considered fighting him. Finally, Arturo Gatti ended up getting the call. And he thought it was a winnable fight, and then it ended up being a massacre against Gatti. But so Jeff Horn is in that position. Isn't Errol Spence licking his chops, thinking about fighting Jeff Horn right now? Wasn't that mentioned?
I had heard something about that, but I think Errol Spence is busy trying to figure out how to get over to Eddie Hearn and away from Al Heyman.
Oh, you think he's trying to switch teams there?
You know what? I haven't heard anything about that, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we had
Jacobs,
who just left.
Daniel Jacobs, right?
Yeah, Danny Jacobs. God, I can't believe I couldn't remember that. Danny Jacobs bailed. I don't even think Heyman's his advisor anymore, which is awesome. And hopefully, Danny getting with Hearn and being on HBO, we'll see him in a lot of fights and good fights. But I know that there's rumblings of other guys trying to get out of there too. So, that I mean, Errol Spence is what is he, 27 or 28 years old?
Yeah, something
the dude, young man in the prime of his career, physical prime, and he's unable or unwilling to capitalize on the momentum he had. Earlier this year. I mean, that would be a good fight though.
Yeah,
against
man.
Cotto, that'd be good.
Now, but you mentioned that about Errol Spence. I was talking about it with King Bucho, and he says that he's hearing that. Oh, actually, about Danny Jacobs. He read somewhere that Danny Jacobs is saying that he's still going to retain Al Heyman as his advisor, but they were sort of intimating in the article that might be just as a symbolic act to kind of like repay Al Heyman for everything he's done and not bury him or disparage his image by firing him, in front of the public. Right. If Errol Spence were to, I mean, isn't it his advantage to stay with Al Heyman, seeing as how the PBC has Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, essentially all the top welterweights out there?
I don't think there's any advantage to staying with Al Heyman ever, because I think eventually, I think the PBC is like a promotional entity is going to disappear completely, and they're just going to be Showtime fighters again. And I think with other fighters are going to follow the same blueprint that Danny Jacobs has, and they're going to start bailing, especially as Al has less and less money to pay these guys to fight, or they're upset where they're not able to fight because Al either can't pay him or won't book a fight. I don't think there's any reason to stay or any advantage in staying. I mean, like I said, he's a young guy, and I think he's probably the best welterweight, until Terrence Crawford arrives at 147. Errol Spence I kind of view him as the guy at that, in that weight class.
Yeah, he definitely is one of the. I mean, that win against Kell Brook was something else, and
that was awesome. Just
with that one win, he kind of upended Keith Thurman, who's already beaten Danny Garcia and Sean Porter. But I mean, it's still for some people, it's a matter of time before Errol Spence takes him out.
Oh, dude, the Thurman doesn't last 6 rounds with Spence.
Whoa, really?
No way. No, I don't. I see Spence knocking him out around the middle of the fight somewhere.
Wow, come on, man, come on.
No, I mean, Thurman with those popsicle stick legs and the running he does. No way.
I mean, I know he hasn't knocked out anybody recently, but he still has that power.
I think the record and the power are kind of two different things. Once Keith Thurman got hurt, a couple of years ago, he's kind of been more of a mover than he has a fighter.
Yeah.
And I think he's definitely has some power. I'm not going to say he can't punch, but it's not as his record suggests. I don't think it has more to do with his competition than his ability.
I would say Thurman loses by a decision because, like you said, he's a mover now. Okay. So that fight would result in both of them like trying to box each other out.
Right.
And
now, what about Crawford versus Thurman?
Oh.
See, I don't think anybody knocks out Thurman or stops him because he has good stamina, somewhat good stamina. He moves pretty well, but I can see him getting outboxed.
Oh yeah. I think both guys beat him one way or the other.
Oh yeah, no, we agree on that.
Yeah.
See, I actually think that what's his name? Spence's bodywork. I mean, if he's gonna stop Thurman, I think it would be with the bodywork because now we've seen We've seen Thurman being hurt twice now by body shots, and that's really all about what Spence throws: body shots. But he would have to walk through some fucking hellacious firepower from Keith Thurman to actually get there. So that's why I think that fight would actually be very competitive. I can see Spence knocking out Thurman, but I don't think Thurman is easy for anybody out there, including
Thurman's not a bad fighter, but I don't think he's as good as Spence, and certainly not as good as Crawford. I think they're kind of in different classes.
Right. Yeah, because I mean Thurman, he's got skills. He knows what he's doing with that speed and power of his. But I don't see him setting up traps the same way Terence Crawford. I mean, Terence Crawford. First of all, I think he should be in the. He could be one of the best pound for pound fighters out there. It's just that his resume right now. The only reason why I can't put him higher is because he's not done much. He hasn't been able to get secure the best opponents out there. But man, if he gets in there against the best guys, I think he could make a name for himself and become the. He's on another level, is what I'm saying. But Keith Thurman, man, he's strong. He hits hard. He knows what he's doing in there. I think he gives problems to anybody.
No, I think Thurman hangs with the elite guys up at the top, but I don't think he beats him. I think he's more like here's a good example. I think like he's more like Oscar De La Hoya in that he's probably gonna lose the biggest fights of his career. You know what I mean? Yeah,
but maybe. I mean, the jury's still out on him though. I mean, he did beat Porter, even though yeah.
But that's the problem. That's what going back to the PBC and kind of what Danny Jacobs has done. Those guys fight once a year if we're lucky. So, and if they keep that up, if they don't leave and go with another promoter or to a network like HBO, we're never going to find out. We're never going to be able to find out.
Well, that's the thing, because I mean, right now at this point, we have Thurman, Porter, Danny Garcia. I mean, an exciting weight division. But if Thurman would have stayed with HBO or with Golden Boy, I should have said, and stayed at HBO, who knows how big. I mean, like King Butcher says, a lot of these guys might be looking at how HBO adapted after the PBC took a lot of the Golden Boys fighters, and they're looking at how they were able to make Golovkin into a name. They were able to develop him to a name. Now Bob Arum has that ESPN deal, so things are happening outside of the PBC, and the PBC, despite all the resources they spent to secure deals with, or not deals, but just time buys with network TV. And I mean, do people out there even know who Keith Thurman is, other than boxing fans? He could. I think Thurman has the makings of something a little bigger. I'm not saying mainstream, but he could have become something bigger. Do you think? Like King Butcher says, do you think a lot of these guys now are nagging at Al Heyman saying, hey, what the hell's going on here? Can you make something happen for us? And do you think they're actually starting to jump ship now or thinking about it with everything that's going on in boxing right now?
I think that probably at least a few of the guys, Al Heyman's top guys, are probably talking about it with their teams and stuff, or with Al Heyman quietly, even though we haven't heard like anything publicly about it. But I definitely think it's going on behind closed doors. I mean, I know all of these guys are in it for the paycheck, and I don't blame them. But they're also fighters. They're in it because they love to do it. So you kind of have to be if you're getting punched in the face for a living. So they want to get out there and fight, and they're young guys. They got the drive and the energy for it. So I absolutely think there's talk or kind of this push behind closed doors to make something happen.
Yeah, when fighters, these guys, they fight for the money. That's number one. When they say, "Oh, I'm fighting for my legacy," this and that, they're fighting for the money first and foremost. The legacy, the legacy is part of it long term. But first, that's why negotiations take so much time, because they want to get the maximum benefit or profit from taking on the best. But like you said, at this point, first of all, forget about getting paid. Are they even fighting? A guy like Thurman and Errol Spence are fighting twice, maybe a year if they're lucky. And I'm pretty sure they want us, like you said, stay active a little more for the legacy.
Well, that's one of the most puzzling things about the PBC and Al Heyman's business model, at least as far as I'm concerned, is he has his fighters pass up career high paydays to go and make, instead of making $5 million against somebody at the top of the sport, he's keeping them in that PBC bubble to fight somebody nobody's ever heard of for $200,000, and then they fight once a year. So instead of making $5 million in 1 year, they're making $250,000. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
I'm sure they're jealous of Danny Jacobs leaving for HBO, because HBO is gonna treat Jacobs like royalty and shit. They're gonna build him up. They're gonna build him up for a big fight. What the fuck are these people doing with the PBC? Where's Danny Garcia? What's the long-term plan? He's supposed to fight Porter, then that fight doesn't happen. So now what? Like they're wasting their prime. They're wasting their fucking prime.
Well, I think with somebody like Danny Jacobs is I kind of think is the exception to the rule, even though he's a fighter. I mean, with that old video of his dad saying, "Well, why fight these guys when you can fight the Salkas of the world?" You know, I don't think Danny Garcia is in it to do anything but make a couple of bucks. He'll fight as soft as he can, and he's happy to do it.
I agree, but I think those days are over, no? When the PBC had all this money splashed around, now there's no money for getting paid. I don't know how many millions to fight Salka. You know, those days are over. So now what is the next step? You're a fighter. You're with the PBC. Where am I going here? You know, that's what they're fucking asking themselves.
And that's a good point. And I kind of leads me into what I was going to say. I think with Danny going to HBO, and I think with Top Rank taking their stable over to ESPN, HBO is kind of looking to work with more promoters. So I think they're going to be reaching across the street to Al Heyman and to other promotional outfits to say, hey, you know, like they're going to be doing with Eddie Hearn or matchmaking or a Matchroom now. You know, it's, hey, bring your guys over here. We'll give them the stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they have to, right? Because
I think the networks have to, and I think the PBC and even other promoters are being forced to work with one another, and you know, networks that they wouldn't before. I think we'll see more and more of that as time goes on.
Yeah, this is because ESPN made that deal with Top Rank.
I think that's one factor. I think another factor is the PBC running out of money, you know, and having these problems, and even having fighters that are jumping ship, you know, kind of secretly, and you know, landing on other networks and with other promoters. I just kind of think I think the PBC actually did help boxing. I think because it hurt it so bad for so long. I don't even have to finish what I was going to say. I think you guys and everyone listening knows exactly what I'm getting at. It fucked boxing so hard for so long that it forced everybody to kind of go, hey, you know what? We're in a world of shit here. Let's kind of work together. Let's make some big money now. Let's try something different.
Yeah, you got me thinking now.
Yeah.
Within their stupidity, they helped actually boxing. They reacted to the negativity, the
backlash.
The backlash, exactly.
Right.
So now they have. Well, but let's be honest. It's also because Top Rank, they had this major exodus of their fighters who now left HBO and they're gonna be fighting on ESPN. So now HBO, they have to adapt to the new. Now where like they're missing all these fighters. They only have Canelo, right. Golovkin, and Lomachenko. They don't have Lomachenko. They don't have anybody.
Right. Well, and another factor I think that's making everybody kind of try new things or work with people they wouldn't be so keen on working with before is the internet. I mean, we have I forget the name of the promotional company that was doing it, but people are starting to stream their shit on their own. Through their own promotional networks, like even the World Boxing Super Series is doing its own thing. So there's less, they're not, these promoters and these fighters aren't as dependent on network contracts as they used to be. So now the networks are kind of going, hey, wait a minute, just come over here. We'll give you this, or we'll do it this way. We'll try it your way. So I kind of think everybody's kind of shot themselves in the foot so many times and so badly that everybody's like, hey, let's help each other. Let's give each other some crutches and limp forward here and try to repair things.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. I just want to announce that we got Reverse Lee on the line. Reverse, how are you?
Good.
Good. You guys keep talking and make me proud.
What do you think about all that, Reverse?
You mean about the networks?
Yeah, like everybody working together, people, fighters jumping ship, and all these new deals happening.
I mean, it's expected. Al Heyman was going to run out of hedge fund money eventually, and we all knew that.
Well, the plan was to generate more money out of that, but
but you're only going to generate more money with actual competitive competitions.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Mismatches on Spike TV and on
With
Bounce
always,
TV aren't gonna
always
boost your ratings.
always the same TV spots playing. The Corona and the tequila one there. So that it was only 2 ads. Like they were, those were the only 2 sponsors. How the fuck were they gonna make? It was a laundry. It was a scheme, Ponzi scheme, or some weird shit. I mean, I'm still.
Yeah, it smelled bad right from the start. But I think what hurt the PBC the most right from the get go was the fact that Al and everybody that runs that thing refused to let their fighters fight anyone but their own guys. They were trapped in that little bubble, and
There's also a problem of them not really wanting to fight anybody.
Right.
I mean, look at who was the last good guy Irislan Laura fought.
Canelo.
That's about right.
Charlo? No, sorry. Jeez, what was the guy that Canelo beat and then
Austin Trout?
Austin Trout, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably his best win to date.
Since the Canelo fight, yeah.
And a lot of people thought he beat Canelo.
Yeah, that was a close fight.
But you got the thing, the PBC, they show too much of what's bad for boxing. They got a lot of robberies. A big part of their roster is composed of weight bullies. Like that what's the guy's name? IBF junior middleweight.
You talking about the Charlos?
I mean, yeah, they're weight bullies too, but they're the guy who just
before.
The guy who just got
Oh, Jared Hurd.
No, not him.
Jared Hurd.
Yeah, that guy is an enormous weight bully.
Yeah, you talked about him last week. I remember.
Guy looks like he's easily a cruiserweight.
Incidentally, all of these guys are going to be fighting next week.
Yeah, they're going to have a junior middleweight card.
It should be light heavyweight, shouldn't it be?
Everybody's applauding that card, like, wow, everybody's like, oh, amazing card, bravo, and all that shit.
It is not an amazing card.
But first of all, I mean, taking into account all the fighters that the PBC have, it's disgusting. Like, why are we supposed to be applauding this? This guy, Al Heyman, the PBC they have over 200 fighters. Then they put this little card, and everybody's like supposed to be shocked and like in awe of this. Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
And
it's supposed to be the norm. It's supposed to be the fucking norm. Sorry,
and those same people barely gave any credit to the Superfly card.
It's true. Yeah, nobody applauded for that shit, huh? No, but this card, we're supposed to be on our knees and thanking Al Heyman. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I know one guy fighting his mandatory, another guy fighting an almost middle-aged guy, and another guy with fighting somebody in the 20s.
Well, next week's the Mares fight, right?
Yes, it's also the Mares fight next week.
Yeah, and he's not fighting who he should be.
Neither one of him and Leo were supposed to fight each other.
Yeah, but when you fight once every 5 years,
I heard Abner Mares priced himself out of the rematch.
Yeah,
so they're just going to be fighting on the same card.
Where's the PBC money at, though?
Well, that's a good fucking question.
That's right. There's no more money. It's over.
Well, like somebody's saying here at Janko W in the chat room, he's saying establishment Illuminati. I think that's what's going on here. Listen, they're talking about Leo Santa Cruz against Maris too, right? That's the fight they want to make. Santa Cruz versus Maris. Okay, that's
exactly.
Yeah, but wouldn't you guys rather see Santa Cruz take on Frampton a third time?
Yeah, that was fuck yeah.
There's a reason that's not happening, and that's typical PBC bullshit. Most of Al Heyman's guys, with a few exceptions, are mediocre talents. They're there to be protected and paid. So of course that's not going to happen.
You gotta watch out how you talk about it.
Nobody wants to see them. They give out free tickets. Are they making money out of these fighters?
No. But like Leo Santa Cruz doesn't want to go to Dublin to fight.
It doesn't have to make sense for Al Heyman to do it.
Right.
Well, that makes sense.
You guys better be very, very careful how you talk about Al Heyman, because he might be listening, and we do have the Heyman moon god who appears every once in a while. He demands sacrifices, he demands blood, he demands ultimate loyalty. Butcho, where is that picture of Al Heyman that we have for our viewers out there?
Shit, I don't know.
That helps me out tremendously. You don't know how much help you are right now. But anyway, forget about that. Somebody
who saw the Eubank fight?
Everybody.
I did.
Okay, was there a question there, reverse? Or?
Oh, well, I thought that stoppage was premature, personally.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, you could tell that oh shit, I already forgot his name.
Yildirim.
You could tell he was way out of his depth. I mean, he was gonna get blasted and seriously hurt.
Yeah, he was outclassed by Eubank by 2 or 3 levels.
Absolutely, man.
I mean, his style was pretty basic. Just like Mickey Ward, kind of like
Arthur Abraham
shelling up. Yeah, but then the difference is that at least fucking Mickey Ward throws punches. This guy wasn't throwing anything. He kept going forward, and it's like then getting caught with uppercuts. And, I don't know who Yildirim beat before. I don't know. He was undefeated, but who the fuck did Yildirim fight before? Because he sucks.
Yeah, he got through those IBO. He got through those IBO rankings.
That's right. Those IBO computer rankings. You can't beat them. You can't beat those rankings.
You know what else? You know what other rankings?
Hamed's pissed off, man. Yo, guys, Hamed's pissed off. He says that we're not giving credit to Eubank.
What? I did give him credit.
Dude, yeah, you know what? Eubank gets better with every fight, but he still hasn't fought anybody.
I'm not saying he's a baller. He looks athletic, fast, and says it's just that he's not. I mean, he hasn't fought anybody that we can actually gauge, how good he is, right? Yeah. He hasn't fought an elite fighter, so.
Yeah, and you know what? Until he beats an elite fighter, you cannot discount that he lost to Billy Joe Saunders.
And he's still a coward.
Yeah, let's not forget that fight.
He's still a coward. He only went to 168 to duck Golovkin.
Yeah, he bailed on that fight.
He was going to get fast. He was going to get that fight in his country against the supreme middleweight champion of the world, and he could have had not only that IBO belt, but the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF belt.
Right. Well, here's the truth about Eubank, and this is fact, man. I mean, if you look at his resume, you look at you watch him on YouTube, even what he did today, the guy is good, but he's a B-level guy. But, only the best in the business are going to beat him.
Listen, let's wait. Let's see if he wins a tournament and then goes on to bigger fights, and then how he does later on. But I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's a good fighter. I can't say that.
I give you facts.
I give you facts.
He has good fundamentals. I mean, for what we've seen, he has athleticism. He's not off balance or anything crazy. He doesn't look like a bum. But then, who the hell was he fighting? That's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, he wouldn't even fight Jacobs.
Right. Who you avoid counts just as much as who you beat.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But it's true what you said there, Split, about Chris Eubank only being beaten by the best. But that's the thing. Like we said earlier, who's the best at 168? Because it's pretty slim pickings out there right now. So a guy like Chris Eubank could go very, very, very far in this goddamn super middleweight division. No,
that's very true. And because the division's so weak right now, I think there's there isn't anybody dominant like there is at 160, or like there was at 175 not long ago. I think it makes for a kind of a more interesting division in some respects.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Sorry, I had to be juggling two things at the same time, so it's kind of I gotta delay my response a little bit. But let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think Ramirez is overhyped?
Yeah.
Yes.
He is, man. Come on, man.
I agree.
Absolutely. I mean, just because he's Mexican, they want to build him up to be this big thing. But I wasn't impressed with his last fight, especially the Abraham fight. Also, he doesn't look that impressive.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with the Abraham fight either.
He's just big and tall for a Mexican, and he's like a super middleweight. That's pretty much it. I'm more impressed with Benavidez, but even then, Benavidez, he got a bit, like, let's say, exposed in his last fight. So there's not really any super middleweights that are that impressive. Badu, in my opinion, Badu Jack was the best super middleweight.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that too.
He left the division now, so I mean it's open. Who knows? Maybe Eubank Jr. might dominate the division. I mean, but we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. It's still open. It's an open division, to be honest.
It's a very open division. It's so open.
Eubank versus DeGale.
Oof.
DeGale.
I mean, look, fucking DeGale's good, but if somebody's able to take him into deep waters, we've seen now that he can't go all that far out. I mean, Badu Jag was able to do it. Porky Medina was about to. Well, then again,
I thought
Porky was on something there.
Porky or a draw.
Yep.
Then again, Porky Medina was on something.
He wasn't going to lose that fight.
Nope. Yeah, like I said, Porky Medina, I think, was on something. But even then, I mean, if he could have pushed a little bit more...
probably, but still, he was still only just pushing forward and being basic.
But that's the thing about this Chris Eubank Jr., though, is that he could do something against DeGale. I don't think he beats DeGale at this point. But like Split D said, let's wait and see Chris Eubank against somebody that actually has a pulse and some skills. And then we'll see if...
I heard somebody say that the guy who fought Eubank... his manager probably would have been a better fight.
Well, his trainer would have been a better fight. I mean, he was talking some mad shit, or somebody in his entourage was talking some mad shit.
Who's Yildirim's trainer?
Some guy that said this.
I'll fuck your wife in your bed.
Oh yeah.
I think so. I think that was the trainer. I don't know. He could have been just some makeup.
Uli Wagner?
Is it Uli Wagner? I don't think so.
It wouldn't surprise me.
No, I don't think it was Uli. No, he's. I didn't see him anywhere. Yeah, I didn't see him during the fight.
Yeah, what is it? Bob, I got a license R&R. It's coming up in 3 days.
Sorry, I'm just watching Platoon. All right. What else? We got Giselle Corrales versus Alberto Machado on HBO. That sounds like a bit of a good fight, but. Oh, and Demetrius Andrade is going to be fighting on HBO. I didn't know about that.
That's hard to get excited about.
He moved up to middleweight.
I know, but what I'm saying is this is a PBC guy fighting on HBO, another guy making the jump.
No, that's a good sign, but I mean, it's tough to get excited about a guy that you see every 3 years.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I know, and you just saw him go life and death with Jack Colque.
Oh yeah, that was what the fuck happened there? What the hell happened there?
What?
With
you mean with the fight? So the way it went with Andrade and Jack Colque, the reasonable prediction was that Andrade was just going to go in there and blow Jack Colque out of the water. Instead, he had the fight of his life, and if that was Jack Colque and he was on PBC, and Andrade was just the foreigner entering, Jack Colque would have got the decision. But they actually gave Andrade won the fight and they gave it to him. But it was just an overall disappointing performance.
He lost some steam in that fight, right? Like he got really tired at the end there. See, that's why was he getting tired because he was having to make 154, or is it just because he's just not that good? I mean, what do you guys think about Andrade? Can he make something happen?
I think he's 6'1".
Right. Yeah, but we've seen 6'1" guys make 154 before.
We've seen 6'1" guys make 147.
Yeah. Paul Williams. Oh no, he was at 160. Sorry.
No, he was at 147.
Well, yeah, he started there, right?
Wait, who are we talking about?
Yeah.
You guys got me confused. Who are we talking about now?
We're talking about
tall welterweights.
Tall welterweights.
Fighters who are unusually tall for their weight class.
Right. Yeah, you're like, well, first of all, yeah, like you guys said, Demetrius Andrade, he's not exactly the most exciting guy out there, but his addition to the middleweight division, it's interesting to say the least. It's interesting. What else do we have? Okay, first of all, there's the Audience Network, which I don't know how the hell you get that here in North America. Just look into the fights here. Well, Hassan and Dan versus Murada, the rematch. I think we talked about that last week. We got Anthony Joshua versus Pulev. By the way, did you guys read about Vitaly wanted to take on Anthony Joshua?
I saw that
video.
Now, what the hell is... I mean, come on. I know Vitaly was better than Vladimir, but he's what, 40-something now? 46, 45?
He's 46.
Whoa.
Old.
That would be a bad idea. And he's busy having fights in
Parliament.
Yeah, with his Parliament members.
Yeah, man, he's got a... Well, first of all, he towers over all of those guys. So I mean, he's not in that.
What's funny is actually, if you watch the video, they weren't that much shorter than him.
We must have seen a different video, because I remember he was just standing there and nobody was picking a fight with him.
Yeah, he was kind of like angry, and I think he was for the most part holding himself back because everybody was kind of just backing away from him. It might have just been the camera angle.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, listen, he should just stay put where he is right now, because I don't care how shitty the division is right now. He can't do... I mean, it was one thing when he came back in 2008, when he was 40 years old, I think, or 39. This is a completely different thing. We got guys that could actually hurt him now. And guys like Joshua, and even Wilder with that crazy right hand of his. Now, Vitaly better stay put.
I still pick Vitaly.
No, you're crazy, man. You're fucking crazy.
I think Vitaly could come back and beat Wilder right now.
No, sir, I do not concur, and I do not recognize your authority.
I disagree, guys. Well, I mean, how would you see that going on? Like, do you think he actually still has that skill? Forget about the speed.
No, whether he has the physical ability or not at 46, Vitaly has the fundamentals that Wilder doesn't.
I know, and in addition with that, Vitaly would be like the biggest dude Wilder has ever tried to fight.
Yep.
You know what? You guys are right. You're making me think about it. I didn't think about that. That if Gerald Washington could cause problems, maybe a 46-year-old Vitaly could too. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Yep.
But now, do you
I
think...
always go back to that fight. I mean, Wilder was losing to an ex-football player.
Yeah, but he's a Mexican football player.
And they still had to get a gift stoppage too.
And they exactly. And they compare Wilder to Triple G.
Oh no!
What the resume? It's like I've never seen fucking Golovkin lose 4 consecutive rounds against like an ex-football player.
I've never seen him lose 4 rounds against anybody.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, the last time he lost 4 rounds was against Lennox Lewis back in 2003, and that's I don't even think he lost 4 rounds in that fight. I actually thought he won most of the rounds.
What are you talking about, man?
We're
talking about Golovkin and Wilder, comparing their records.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Vitaly.
And I'm saying Wilder lost 4 consecutive rounds against Daryl Washington.
Well, it still makes sense what I said, because Vitaly didn't lose that many rounds against anybody, man. So,
Vitaly said that Vitaly said he would definitely come back to get a Lennox Lewis rematch.
Okay, but Lennox...
he's still going on about that shit.
He's got to let that shit go.
Well, come on! Did you guys remember the cut that Lennox Lewis gave him? I mean, it's kind of hard to forget that.
Look at his face.
Oh fuck! Do I have that?
Yeah, it's in the soundboard.
Yeah.
He was robbed. Coming out, Johnny.
Whoa.
That was a hard meal to digest, Lennox.
Yeah, Lennox Lewis was a bit of a... That was a good fight, Lennox Lewis versus Vitaly, because both guys had that ego. Fuck! I would have loved to have seen a Lewis versus Vitaly rematch. Fucking Lewis bitched out at the end. Yeah,
I heard somebody.
Probably Emmanuel Stewart. Emmanuel Stewart told Lennox Lewis to retire.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that Lennox Lewis. I heard from somebody the only reason he retired is because he didn't want to get knocked out by Klitschko. Now I don't know which one he was talking about, but that's what I heard. That's the only reason he actually was able to retire on top.
Okay, but then let's look at that, because Lewis thought he was gonna fight Kirk Johnson, and he showed up fat and out of shape, and that's his fault. But he was still able to land against Vitaly Klitschko. He landed a lot of good shots in there, and I gotta wonder what would have happened if he was shown up in shape. I still think he could have beaten Vitaly if he would have been in better shape, but I think at that point Lennox Lewis just said, you know what, I've beaten everybody else. I think I'm just gonna call it a career.
Yep.
Yeah, what a coincidence. What a coincidence. After he basically losing the fight against Klitschko, then he decides like, whoa, that's it.
I know, just like how Andre Ward just like miraculously decided that he only needed 2 light heavyweight championship fights to be an all-time great.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Wilder, real quick again, didn't he say that his record was better than Tyson's, or his resume was better than Mike's?
Deontay Wilder said that he had a better resume than Mike Tyson and that he would knock out Joe Louis.
You gotta be.
He wants to stay relevant. He wants to stay relevant because his career is going absolutely nowhere. He's just going towards a fight against Joshua where he's gonna get knocked out. Other than that, he has nothing going for him. So nobody wants to watch him. He's not an attraction. He's not a draw. Fuck.
Do you guys think the Wilder Joshua fight is Deontay's like cash out / retirement fight?
No doubt.
Yeah, it is. There's nothing else. I mean, yeah.
Do you think we get it in 2018?
I think that's the plan. I don't know for sure. That's what Showtime wants, right? I mean, that's why they're showing Joshua on their network, and they're showing obviously Wilder. The plan is to have them both fight at some point. And I see that fight taking place at the end of 2018.
2018.
2018, yeah, next year.
You know, man, I think they don't even want to fight Luis Ortiz or Povetkin. I mean, for the right money, they would fight Joshua, right? Like you said.
Because Wilder's 30 or 31 now, and his hands are bad, and I mean he's had some shaky performances lately. You know, I definitely think it's a cash out type of retirement type of thing.
Yeah, think about it. He didn't even look that good when he was fighting that troll on
Golovkin for low money and get a guaranteed knockout, or he can fight somebody else for more money.
Well, that's the thing. How much
Wilder,
is he getting paid?
He's not beating any top tier light heavyweight.
But that's the thing. How much is he getting paid per fight?
We don't know yet.
Don't know. Against Taverne, I don't know. I haven't even bothered to look at that. I care so little about that fight.
I mean, he really should still be fighting Luis Ortiz.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But we all know that's not going to happen now. Fucking.
Because the WBC is concerned.
I know they're so concerned about Luis Ortiz taking heart medication, but they seem to be dragging their feet when it comes to Luis Nery taking growth hormones.
Yeah, that's the thing, though.
That seems to be just the most complicated situation to discuss.
Well, you know, it's funny. Like I said, I don't know if you heard me when we first came on the air, Reverse, but I take a Tylenol too for my blood pressure, just like Ortiz does. The first thing I was scared when the doctor put me on it because my shit was way out of control, and I said, "Do I not exercise until I lose weight?" The doctor said, "No, I encourage exercise. That's going to save your heart." So it's like, take the medicine and get the fuck out there and do something. So this bullshit with the WBC and Wilder's team. Oh, you got to be safe. Fuck that. The medicine makes it safe.
I mean, you taking heart medication, and it's the same thing with Povetkin. Meldonium is not going to be the difference between somebody beating you and not beating you.
Right.
Yeah, maybe he does. Maybe he thinks it does. I mean, I don't know, man. At this point, fucking.
It sounds fishy to me. I don't like the look of it at all.
I don't like the look of it. I don't like the smell of it. Something is wrong here, man. Let me tell you that much right fucking now.
Something is wrong here.
But anyway, forget about Deontay Wilder. Forget about Deontay Wilder.
Okay, let's fuck Wilder. Yeah, let's move on. Let's
fuck Wilder. I mean, fuck him. Look, I think he's actually entertaining against the right guy. But let's move on, man.
Beyonce Wilder.
Oh, I didn't think. All right. Okay, so we got that fucking fight. Jesse Magdaleno, I mean, this is one for the hardcore fans, but Jesse Magdaleno is going to be taking on Cesar Juarez November 11th on ESPN. That's a tough fight for Magdaleno, but I mean, I think he wins it, but Juarez is tough for anybody in there. The guy just can take punishment, and he's got some wild looping punches, Juarez that is, that could possibly hurt Magdaleno if they land. Would you guys fancy that fight, or is that just one of those fights that you go, okay, Magdaleno's gonna win and that's about it?
Yeah, I'm not too high on it.
No.
It sounds like a halfway decent title defense.
Well, speaking of halfway title defenses, on the undercard, Artur Beterbiev, the monster, the power puncher from the light heavyweight division.
I cannot wait to see that fight.
I like Beterbiev.
You can't wait to see the fight, Reverse?
I just want to see Artur Beterbiev fight somebody.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the guy he's fighting, Enrico Koeling from Germany, he's got 23 wins, 1 loss, 6 knockouts. So, I mean, unless he's a master boxer, I don't see how he's going to be able to keep Beterbiev off of him if he can't punch.
Yeah, Beterbiev is just going to get his IBF belt that night.
Yeah, do you guys think Beterbiev, if he wins and Kovalev wins, you think they'll fight?
Oof.
I would like to see it.
Yeah,
I think that would be fucking awesome.
I mean, Kovalev, I don't know what we're going to see with him when he fights Shabransky.
Right.
Because he has no trainer.
You know what? I think Kovalev is talented enough to be able to take out Shabransky, because Shabransky really looked not awful, but I mean, against Barrera, yeah, against Barrera, he looked out of his depth. The only real guy that Shabransky beat was Yunieski Gonzalez. We now know that Yunieski Gonzalez is definitely not from the Cuban school. This guy he's like a light heavyweight Antoine Eccles. So, I mean, I still think that Kovalev is a little too talented for a guy like Shabransky, even without a trainer. But Beterbiev, that's a whole other story. Yeah. And by the way,
what about Bivol? What do you guys think of Bivol?
Never seen him fight, actually.
Me neither. I haven't seen him either.
Oh, no, wait, sorry. Yeah.
What do you think about... What do you think about Bostic?
Sorry. Bivol is the Asian-looking guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I did see him fight. Yeah, he's good. I only saw that one fight on the award. Who's playing the harp? Somebody's playing the harp. Anyway, yeah, Bivol looked good again on the award Kovalev undercard, but also we have Eleider Alvarez finally is going to have his shot against Adonis Stevenson. That's a fight that was long in the making. He's been waiting for that shot for a long time. Apparently the fight's going to take place in Quebec City. I believe Boxing Scene said that it's going to happen in December. Finally, we're going to get some things straightened up here at the light heavyweight division when Alvarez takes on Stevenson. Who do you guys fancy in that fight?
Stevenson.
Reverse.
I haven't really seen Elder Alvarez before.
Okay, you haven't seen it before. Okay, so I'll ask you then.
I heard he relatively easily beat Jean Pascal, though.
Yeah, that's the key word right there, relatively, because Jean Pascal at this point, we really don't know how much he had left. But Alvarez looked good in there. Split, why do you favor Stevenson against Alvarez? Is it the power that you like, or just the overall package?
The whole package. I think Stevenson, even for 40 years old, still moves relatively well, and I mean, he's got that killer left hand, man. I don't think the other guy is, people make a big deal out of him. I don't think he's that good, and he doesn't have the power to really keep Stevenson off of him. I mean, Stevenson's got that shaky chin, so there's always a chance, even if he faces a guy that doesn't punch real hard. But I don't think it's a mismatch, but it's not much of a match. I don't think it's a close fight at all.
Yeah, it's a big fight in Canada, that's for sure, because it's
yes.
Stevenson's been the reigning light heavyweight champ for a while now. Alvarez beat 2 of the most famous Canadian fighters of the last 10 years when he beat Pascal, and then prior to that he knocked Boutte out. So he does have some pop in his punches. He's got good skills. At this point, it's a question of Stevenson's age. He's, like you said, he still moves pretty well. He's always going to have that punching power. But the question is the stamina, the chin, and the age. Is he... I mean, we saw him against Fonfara. That lasted about, 2 rounds? So we didn't really get a good look at what Stevenson has left in the tank.
Yeah, if Alvarez can take him into deep waters, I think, maybe age and inactivity could certainly play a factor. But I don't see Alvarez surviving the early rounds.
Whoa, okay, yeah, okay, so that's You see him getting. Do you see this as a bit of a mismatch then?
Not really a mismatch. I think he's a live dog, but Alvarez, but I don't think he lasts more than 4 or 5 rounds.
Okay, now Janko W on the chat, on the YouTube chat, is saying, do you guys know that Beterbiev was close to beating Usyk in the Amateur World Championships? That was a good fight. If you guys have a chance to watch that one on YouTube, you know, for anybody that hasn't watched it.
BTRBF beating Usyk.
Yeah. Oh, actually, who won that fight? Actually?
I heard. I heard. I did hear that he beat Kovalev twice.
Beterbiev, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did. I know for a fact he beat Kovalev. That's what they're saying. The Usyk fight, that was actually a good fight because you could see. I mean, I know it's just an amateur fight, which is just 3 rounds, but Beterbiev showed boxing skills in that fight against Usyk in the amateur. So I think right now he's been blowing the opposition out because, you know, it's inferior opposition. But I think once he gets in there against a guy that can take his shots, I think people are going to be surprised to see that he can actually box in there. Now, here's the thing. Should Stevenson beat Alvarez? First of all, is Beterbiev the number 1 contender for anything right now?
IBF.
And Kovalev is fighting for the IBF title, or because I didn't even follow those titles.
Beterbiev in his next fight is fighting for the IBF belt. Kovalev is in a non-title fight.
Okay, so what are the chances of a fight happening here? I mean, is Beterbiev gonna get Kovalev next? Is that in the pipeline, or is Beterbiev gonna fight? Do you guys think the winner of Alvarez and Stevenson?
You know what? Beterbiev is isn't he with Al Heyman?
Yes,
I
believe he is.
But his contract, I heard his contract is modified.
Okay.
So it's not like all the other slave contracts that everybody else has.
Well, the reason I ask is because it'll be main events and Al Heyman again, and they don't really play well together.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Kathy has some big bones to pick with those people over there.
As well, she should, man. I mean, this is a fucking. But that's the thing, though. If first of all, Beterbiev is fighting on HBO, right? Is that what I read right now? Hold on, I'm looking for the. I believe that's what I said before. Yeah, it's ESPN. He's fighting on ESPN. So you guys are right. Yeah, he does have like an unusual contract with the PBC, and that he can fight in different avenues or different channels that are not PBC related. That's interesting. That's very interesting. So we might end up having a possibility of Beterbiev either fighting Stevenson or Alvarez, or maybe even Kovalev's, provided that ESPN can act as an intermediary between main events and well, I mean, not ESPN, but maybe on HBO. Maybe HBO could play as an intermediary between main events and PBC and work something out if the money is right and if the fight is worth it.
Well, I think the fight might happen if Beterbiev looks good in his next fight, and if Kovalev wins but looks kind of shaky. I think that you know, that might help.
Yeah, let's hope so, man. Because I mean, there's some good fights to make at in the light heavyweight division, and hopefully that I mean that's one of those to make. You got a list of solid guys in there. That same day, November 11th on HBO, Daniel Jacobs is going to be taking on Luis Arias. Now, if I recall correctly, you guys last week said that you picked Daniel Jacobs for that one, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, for the most part.
I think it's going to be a hard fight, man.
It won't be an easy fight. Because if you watch Luis Arias' last fight, he's not a bum.
No.
He's a couple notches above the typical Amero bum.
Well, what is a typical Amero bum? What is a typical Amero bum? Like, what's an example of an Amero bum?
Jeff Lacey.
Okay, but someone a little more recent.
Or let me think. Marcus Brown.
Marcus Brown. Yeah, all right, I'll go with that. Yeah, okay. So now, on HBO that same night, on the undercard, Jarrell Big Baby Miller, and he's a big guy, by the way. He's going to be taking on Marius Wack. I believe that's how you spell his name, Marius Wack. I don't know if you guys remember Wack, but he fought Vladimir Klitschko, I believe, a couple of years ago. He's a big dude. His skill set, however, leaves much to be desired. But it is going to show us how Miller can handle a fellow big guy. But what do you guys think about Baby Miller? Is he somebody to watch out for? Or?
I think he's more of a sideshow at this point.
At this point, yeah.
I mean, he's big and he's good on the mic, or he's good at trash talking. But I don't know. I think his weight and his lack of discipline or dedication kind of keeps him from being more than he probably could be.
Yeah, I mean, come on, 300 pounds, Jesus, he could slim. You could tell he could trim down a little bit, at least a little bit. Fuck.
Right. Him and Stavern have the same problem.
Yeah, exactly.
They like Arby's.
Well, they like something, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
somebody said in the comment section that we haven't seen Stevenson for more than 4 rounds in 3 years.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. And he was actually on the brink of losing against what was his name? Fuck, I gotta look his name up. The guy who recently lost to Beevil, actually. I mean, not Beevil, but wait, hold on. I'm gonna check out the guy that Stevenson almost lost to, I think 2 years ago or last year. Thomas Williams Jr. He really struggled against Thomas Williams Jr., which is why I thought Fanfaro was actually gonna beat him.
That's another Amero Bum example.
Well, yeah, there you go. I mean,
and Dominic Wade. Dominic Wade as well.
That's a good point, yeah. Dominic Wade. So yeah, so he's gonna be fighting that Stevenson. It's true, we haven't seen Stevenson. That's why I'm saying, man, fuck, Alvarez is not a guy to sleep on, man. He's got some skills in there, and obviously he doesn't have Stevenson's type of power, but he has power. So
BDA.
Yes.
Where are you from?
Where am I from? Oh, well, people are asking that.
Yeah.
No, first of all, I'm not French Canadian, but I do live in Canada, somewhere around that region.
Sorry.
Like, I do live around that region.
I can tell by the way you say Lemieux.
Lemieux. Well, yeah, that's how people spell it over in the land up north.
When I first saw that written, I used to say Liam X.
It actually sounds better. That actually sounds better. Lemiex.
Oh
sounds like a Pokemon or something. An exotic Pokemon. Well, I mean, that's the thing with Stevenson. What do you? They also call him. No, which is the guy? Pascal. You know, in English, it's some people call him Jean Pascal, but it's actually Jean Pascal. And even some people
down here we call him Jean.
Yeah, I know. Bernard Hopkins used to do that too. Jean. He would say Jean Pascal. I'm thinking, who the fuck's he talking about? And then like, oh, okay, he's talking about Jean Pascal.
I mean, a funny thing with him is when I first saw Jean Pascal's face and like his body, I didn't think his voice would match. His voice does not match his like face and body.
Well, wait a minute.
You see him and you think you're gonna get this big manly voice, then you get this little European voice.
Well, how did you want him to sound? You wanted him to sound a little more urban, or?
Like I thought he was gonna sound like the typical aggressive big black guy.
And what is that? Like, give us an example.
From Canada?
Yeah, from Canada.
I mean, like an example, like Bernard Hopkins, but like tougher and younger.
Right.
Mike Tyson?
Yeah, Tyson, but not a high-pitched voice.
Oh, okay. See, I expect everybody from Canada to sound like Terrence and Phillip.
Well, wait. You know, up here people call him Jean. They call him Pascal. Some people say Jean Pascal. Yeah, they say Pascal.
Pascal.
Jean Pascal, or something like that. It's. Anyway, names. Somebody saying never heard of Canada, heard of Fargo though. Yeah, Fargo's close to fucking. They have the same accents. Where does the movie take place in Fargo? The fucking north. It's in the United States, right? Fargo, or does it take place in Canada? Hello? Anybody there to answer my question?
I don't know.
All right.
I heard somebody call Gennady Golovkin KKK.
Oh, come on.
What? Jesus Christ, people.
They couldn't remember what his name was. Oh, his name was what BBB KKK. They just couldn't remember what his nickname was.
KKK. Come on, really? Fuck.
And I don't like it when people call him. I don't like it when people call him GGG. Just say Triple G.
These fucking assholes.
Yeah, I mean, come on, let's stick to the issues.
Race baiters.
Yeah, let's stick to the issues. I don't even like to, King Butcher likes to go after those guys. I don't even entertain them. This is about boxing. It's not about the outside. These people that want to take it to the lower. Yeah, that's the other thing. Is because most of these guys, they don't even know about boxing, so they talk about what they know, which is outside of the ring race relations, and they try to pin that to boxing, and that's why the discussion degenerates into that type of shit.
Right. Well, you guys are probably just like I am because we're all hardcore boxing heads. But like the only thing I give a shit about is what these guys do in the ring.
Exactly. That's what matters.
I mean, my and that speaks a lot is because my favorite fighter of all time is a convicted rapist. But that doesn't bother me. All I care about is what he uses.
Who is that?
Mike Tyson. All I give a fuck about is what Mike used to do in the ring.
He didn't really do that, but
I have no idea. I don't even get involved in it. All I focus on is what did that guy do and how exciting was he?
Well, you know what? I do care about what happens outside the ring. It is interesting.
Yeah, that matters to me.
Some of the
yeah, I mean it's interesting in some regards, but I'm into the sport for the actual combat. What the two guys do to one another.
Yeah, exactly. It adds flavor to the fights, but it's not
outside the ring. Like if I was just to judge them based off the stuff that they do, is Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
You can look up videos of Manny Pacquiao singing. Like, have you ever seen him when he sung that song with what's the guy's name? Will Ferrell.
Yeah. On Jimmy Kimmel, right?
Yeah, that was funny.
Well, look, I was gonna say that, like, Split D. I agree with Split D in that boxing is the nexus of it all. That's why we watch it. The outside of the ring stuff, that just adds an extra layer of flavor. For example, if somebody talks shit or something. But going back to Mike Tyson, somebody Dono, I should say, on the YouTube chat, is saying that the book, he's talking about the book, but Mike Tyson's autobiography. That's a pretty good fucking book, and it does talk about the rape conviction. And from what I've read in the book, and from what I've read in other sources on the internet, it's pretty unlikely that he raped, what was her name? Washington? No. Fuck, I already forgot the name of the girl he accused.
I don't remember her name.
Well, let's not give her any more attention than she
When I think of Mike Tyson and women, I think of Robin Givens.
Oh, that's another fucking psycho right there.
That sticks out in my mind.
That gold-digging scumbag.
Yeah, and her mother too. Nah, I'm not even gonna mention the name of the girl that accused him. But yeah, Robin Givens was another one that was just after the money, and it's.
Hey, what fight was it? Because I've always wondered this. What fight? And I wonder if Split D, you can tell me this. What fight was it where Mike Tyson said, "I broke my back"?
I think that was either his last fight or the second to last fight of his career.
I think it was after Etienne.
I can't remember who it was against.
Etienne, Clifford Etienne. I think it was
it?
Yeah, I think so. When he said spinal, like they asked him what type of injury was it?
What part did you break?
You mean your vertebrae?
Was it vertebrae? Spinal.
Yeah. Only Mike Tyson, man. He's the only one that can come up with that shit.
Only Mike.
It's Christmas time in the city.
Hey,
Brownsville.
Speaking of outside of the ring stuff, and speaking of rape accusations or sexual harassment, did you guys read about Harvey Weinstein, the film producer, being accused now of sexual harassment throughout the years?
I heard something about that.
I tell you, man, you can't harass women anymore. It's just everyone's gonna find out eventually, man. Even if you have a lot of money.
You can't. Whether you're a man or woman, you can't talk to anybody. You can't throw a compliment somebody's way without taking shit for it these days.
Okay,
not to say that he didn't do it, but hey, that looks great, or hey, You know, hey, you're really attractive, and it's he's fucking stalking me. You know what I mean?
Right. But don't you think
the definition of rape is so just divided up and changed around these days?
Yeah, that's the other thing, man. Like, I think even some states now, they want to, in the United States, right? Or was it Canada or the United States, that they don't want to consider
it's probably Canada.
Yeah, probably Canada. That they don't want to consider the accuser's past sexual history, because that would blur the lines of the trial.
Yeah, I heard something where if you had video evidence that you didn't do it, you wouldn't be able to take that to court.
I mean, see, that's insane right there. That's insanity.
Yeah.
It's almost like they want to lock men up on false rape charges.
I know it's so crazy, isn't it?
Well, like I was gonna say that this fucking Harvey Weinstein, he got away with it because he had power. But here's the other thing: if you're a good-looking guy and you sexually harass women, if the woman is attracted to you, is it still sexual harassment, or does she take it as, you know what I mean?
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, it's only sexual harassment if you're ugly.
That's what I was gonna ask, because if it was Ryan Gosling,
that's a good point.
It's only as long as you're a good-looking guy, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
So basically, it's harassment every time I ask someone out. Then.
Yes.
Well,
good thing I'm married.
That was a Chris Rock joke, I think. That Chris Rock would, I think, I'm paraphrasing here, but he would say like, oh, if somebody, an ugly guy goes up to a woman and says something and it's sexual harassment, but if it's Denzel Washington, he puts a pube in her coffee and she's just gonna go, oh, Denzel. That was a joke sort of, which speaks to Reverse Lee's point that if you're good looking, I mean, like he said, when does it become harassment? Like if Ryan Gosling goes up to a woman and he says, hey, nice ass, and the woman's like, hee, she's giggling, she takes it as a compliment. But like Reverse said, if it's an ugly guy, she looks at it as, this motherfucking ugly piece of shit think he has a shot at me, and that's why they get angry. It's the ego as well.
And you know what? I've had long before I was married, when I was actually young and in shape, I had a lot of different girls, both attractive and ugly, tell me, hey, you're kind of hot or you're kind of cute or whatever. And even when I wasn't attracted to them, I never thought that was in it. Even when they persisted, I never thought of it as harassment. You know what I mean? Because I was able to deal with it on my own. I didn't need help in dealing with somebody that wanted to fuck me or wanted to go out with me. It was no thanks. Hey, get the fuck away from me. I'm not going to tell you again. I didn't have to go online and bitch about it.
But we're talking about the 80s here?
Women aren't built like that. They're not strong people.
I've dated some women and my wife is that way. She doesn't take any shit. She'll fucking knock you out if she has a problem with you.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with temperament, disposition, character, upbringing, sex. I think it's a really complex issue. I think strong people don't necessarily have as big of a problem with harassment as, some of the softer people or more sensitive people do. That's just my opinion. Well, let me tell you, not a medical fact.
Let me tell you, when I look at a woman in the street and I see her tits, all I go is like this. That's what I say, or what I say when I see a woman's tits on the street. Some like it, some don't. But you know what? It's a matter of preference. You can't win them all. That's what you gotta keep in mind when you go out to talk to women. You're not gonna get them all, man. It's a numbers game here, and that's what everybody out there, all the players out there, have to keep in mind. Now, Split, when you're talking about your days going up to women, was that in the 80s or 90s, or what's the time frame here?
Well, I'm 44, so that would have been anywhere from, I'd say, like 1990 to the time I got married in 2000. When did I get married? 2000. Oh, I met my wife in 2003. So about 13 years worth.
You kind of hesitated there when I asked you, when you were talking about when you got married. Don't do that in front of your wife. She's gonna kick your ass, man.
No, she's at Wingstop picking up food.
Well, that's a good thing, man. You gotta be able to spit that number right off the bat, man. Like, don't even hesitate, fuck. She's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
But so we're talking about Harvey Weinstein. That guy, Somebody's saying the guy looks like a scrub. He kind of does, man. I mean, if you're gonna harass women, at least try to make it worth their while, right? I mean, I know he got money and power, but he also had that big. Apparently, what he was doing, and I don't want to get too graphic here, but he would go up. He actually cornered a woman in a restaurant, and she resisted his advances. So he said, "Okay, just shut your mouth," and he started jerking off. He jerked off in a plant, I believe, inside the pot, wiped himself off, and just left. Now, that's disgusting.
What the fuck? that I would call harassment.
Like,
that's pretty fucked up.
Imagine if he did all of that with a straight face, though.
That's what I'm saying, man. You gotta give the guy a little credit, man.
Woo, that takes some balls.
Wait, so did he wipe himself off with one of the leaves?
Well, he didn't say. He just said he cleaned himself off, or after cleaning himself off, he just left. And I gotta tell you, this guy, like I said, that's disgusting. But at the same time, you gotta give it up to him.
Yeah, how do you not laugh at the story?
Exactly, man. I mean, I'm just saying, he's keeping it real, though, and that's the other thing. He's being thrown under the bus now. But I gotta wonder how many other people out there that have the same power as him or more are actually doing that type of shit, if not worse.
No, I don't think that kind of shit is as uncommon as the media or most people would like to believe. I think there's a lot of sick motherfuckers out there.
Well, you're talking.
You think there are more people around America jerking off in plants?
I think that there's a lot that goes on that we don't hear about.
I'm gonna go jerk off into a plant right after this, man, just to see how it feels like. I'm gonna pretend that I'm a movie producer and I have a lot of power and I can just jerk off into a plant in a public setting. Janko W in the chat room, he's saying this is far away from boxing talk. Okay, so then let's bring it back to boxing. We've talked about Virgil Hunter and how he looks like a bit of a weird guy. Who else do you think?
We didn't talk about Manny Pacquiao that much.
Oh, in terms of the sexual harassment?
Yeah, the thing I told you guys about where he was commenting on like 20-year-old girls' Instagram streams.
Ah, yes. I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna look it up because I think
you can find a picture of it. It's a comment. And it's Manny Pacquiao's profile with the little check mark, and it says, "You can call me anytime."
Well, if you're Manny Pacquiao, would you do that though?
Yes.
Well, I like how you didn't even hesitate. Like, yeah. Well, let's see.
I mean, Manny Pacquiao does have 5 kids, so if his marriage goes down, he's going to be paying a lot of child support.
Oh yeah. Shit, yeah. But then again, isn't he a hardcore religious guy? Doesn't divorce go against?
Oh, dude, but that's typical from those kinds of people.
I mean, I don't think Pacquiao is that big of a hypocrite. He was probably just playing around.
Didn't he cheat on his wife a long time ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
More than once.
More than once. Okay, I'm reading the article. Pacquiao mocked as his official Instagram account comments on a 22-year-old woman's live stream. Okay, so he commented. What's the big deal? She's 22. She's not 15.
But wouldn't you think that Manny Pacquiao, as the senator and as the 8-division world champion with 5 kids and a wife, would have better things to do with his day?
No. I actually think that's exactly what he should be doing if he's a senator. He should be letting off a little steam. Listen, he didn't pull an Anthony Weiner.
Oh my God.
He didn't pull an Anthony Weiner. You know, I think it's acceptable what he did.
Hey, at least he's not letting the steam off in a fucking plant.
Exactly. He's not letting the splooge.
I mean, but is he? Maybe we just didn't. Maybe we just haven't heard that story yet.
Well, listen, I'm not gonna say that, but I will say that if I do bet that somewhere down the line, something like that's gonna come up again, some allegation or something relating to Manny Pacquiao, because he's a wild guy. He used to bet on rooster fights. He used to go bonkers when he used to play billiards back in the early 2000s. So, yeah, he's probably gonna end up, like with an accusation or two. Plus, he's also anti-homosexual, so they're gonna bite his ass with that one as well. He's got a lot of problems going
You know
on.
he lost his Nike sponsorship because of that.
I know, man. But that, well, you can't go after the homosexuals in this day and age. It's not gonna work out for you. You gotta keep it PC nowadays. Very PC. Say you like everybody. Say everybody's your best friend. Say that nobody's doing anything that's relatively immoral. You know, there's nothing immoral nowadays. So just go with that train of thought, and you should be fine.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, he's a devout Catholic.
Well, that's why he's got to change his tune when he's in the United States. When he's in the Philippines, he can say whatever he wants. But when he's in the United States,
was he even in the United States when he said that?
I don't know. That's a good point. That's a good question. But see, like people are saying in the boxing chat right now, in the YouTube chat, they're saying that's why we love him. He's a he's a working class boxer, a man of the people.
I like Pacquiao because he used to kick some ass.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what he does outside of the sport.
Well, that's an interesting question. How do you differentiate what the person does outside of the ring and what? Like, for example, a lot of people hate Mayweather or root against him because of his outside of the ring antics. That's
the least of their worries. That should be the least of your worries if you don't like Floyd Mayweather.
I know, but that's what some people do, right?
What?
What I'm saying is some people,
because he throws around money.
Yeah, some people dislike him because of everything he does outside of the ring. So what I'm saying is, why would you like if you're just focusing boxing?
I think a lot of people, they don't like that because that doesn't translate into the ring with him.
Right.
Like Mike Tyson would talk a lot of trash too, but he would go in there and then he'd beat the hell out of you.
Right.
He's not gonna say he's gonna knock you out and then play tag with you to get a 12-round decision.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. As long as you like, who else talks a lot of shit? Oh, Arislandi Lara. He talks a lot of shit before he goes into
Saunders.
And Billy Joe Saunders too. Yeah. And
Deontay Wilder.
Hey, you know, Willie Monroe thought he won that fight.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
He must have gotten hurt inside that fighter. He must have taken a big punch because I think he's losing it, man. Yeah, he's got brain damage, that guy. I think Golovkin gave him brain damage and he's not thinking clearly. So, that's I don't even know why I started talking about Harvey Weinstein, but
I mean, it did leeway into that plant masturbation story pretty well.
Yeah, it did. I'm proud of that one. Okay, so we gotta talk about before we leave here, we gotta talk about Lomachenko Rigondeaux now. That's the fight that everyone was looking forward to, and you know, we did a video regarding Rigondeaux's punching power, and a lot of people don't seem to think that he's gonna be able to carry that power against Lomachenko.
No.
How do you guys feel about that?
He won't.
Okay.
No, I think it's I don't think it's an easy fight for Lomachenko, but I think just Lomachenko's work rate alone is going to win it for him fairly easily.
Yeah, I already said I don't think Lomachenko gets past 6 rounds. I mean, I don't think Rigondeaux gets past 6 rounds.
No, I don't think so either.
Wow, that's yeah.
6 to 8, I think 6 to 8.
6 to 8, between 6 and 8.
I think he'll probably be out on the canvas by round 4.
Oh, so you actually think he hits the canvas?
But the most rounds I give him is 6.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Rigo's chin holds up at 2 weight classes higher.
It doesn't hold up at 122.
Well, yeah, it's already shaky down below, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a video on Rigondeaux's chin, and it's true. Like Reverse said, he's got he doesn't really have a chin.
The shots that put him down aren't even that hard.
No, right? Exactly. So, I mean, I like his footwork and his skills. In theory, they should carry him to 12 rounds. But Lomachenko, like people have been saying in the comment section, he's special himself. So. He's special. He has a size advantage. He has a youth advantage. He throws more punches. Better chin, apparently. I mean, I I don't see how Rigondeaux wins this one, man. But no, actually, you know what? I have to keep up appearances that it is a competitive fight because we have to keep making videos on this. So no, I'm gonna change my tune. It's a 50-50 fight. It's a very close fight. Very, very close. I think you guys are missing a lot of things here. Rigondeaux's power, you know, he's got good enough power. He's got hand speed, footwork.
You think it can go either way?
Oh, absolutely. I'm actually favoring Rigondeaux. I think he's got a shot at no. No, listen, if I had to bet,
even at 45 years old.
And he's 45. Yeah, that's the fucking.
Yeah.
He is 47, man. No, I've never seen a 37-year-old guy look like that. He looks like a shriveled up raisin, man. He's not 37. No fucking way.
No, he's probably my age.
Well, actually, it's quite impressive though if you think about it. If he is 47, the fact that he's so quick.
I mean, you gotta think about it. Like Triple G is 36.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, but he's a different type of style.
Anywhere near Rigo's age, and he's had more fights and more amateur and professional fights, and he's taken more punches throughout his career.
Well, you have to remember too that black people tend to age better than Caucasian people.
That's right.
So if Rigo looks that bad at 37, he's probably 60.
Yeah, that's what you guys said before. I know. He can't look. Listen, he can't be 47 because he's too quick to be 47. Even Bernard Hopkins at 247 wasn't that quick. I think Rigondeaux must be
probably about 41.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. 41 or 42.
Yeah, 47 is too much, man. Even for him. Yeah, he doesn't look good, but facially he doesn't look good. But he can't be 47. That no way. He fights like
he just looks like a miserable dude. He never smiles.
Well, isn't his son in Cuba? His family's in Cuba, right?
I mean, I've seen many pictures of him smiling. I think that's part of his little fake tough guy act.
Ah,
okay.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let me. Guillermo Rigondeaux smiling. I'm gonna find out some pictures of him smiling. Yeah, there's a lot of pictures of him smiling. I mean, it doesn't help, but he's at least he's smiling. And by the way, isn't his family in Cuba? By the way.
He has a family. He has a family in America and a family in Cuba.
Wait. Back it up there. Back it up. He's got kids. Wait. Different wives and everything?
Yeah, I've seen him with a wife and children in his little Instagram pics in America.
Well, listen, if you're gonna if you're gonna leave your family behind in Cuba and they can't come to the United States, you might as well start another one, right?
No. That's not what Sullivan Barrera did.
Hey, Sullivan Barrera is Sullivan Barrera. This is the great Guillermo Rigondeaux that we're talking about here. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. 50-50 fight, by the way. So he can do whatever the fuck he wants, man. There's a picture of Rigondeaux smiling.
Wait, do you still think that Canelo Triple G is a 50-50 fight?
As more... Well, actually, Split, you go ahead and you start off. You tell us.
Which fight?
Canelo versus Triple G at the rematch.
Oh, man. 8 months off, and he'll be 36 by the time that happens.
Uh-huh.
That one actually could end up a draw. Triple G could lose. It's tough. It's a tough one for me to pick this far out. But
somebody said Rigo looks like E.T.
Well, I mean, he look, listen, he is what he is. I'm not making fun of the guy, but I'm just saying, that's him smiling. So there are pictures of him smiling. He's having a good time, and he should be having a good time. It's a 50-50 fight. He should be having the time of his life. Hold on a second here. Let me remove that. So yeah, look, like Split D said, the Triple G Canelo fight, it's gonna favor Canelo the more time goes by. Every month that passes by is an advantage for Canelo.
Yep.
To the point, but even if Golovkin gets old, Canelo's still gonna have a very, very hard time because Canelo's stamina doesn't improve. Okay, it doesn't improve. Yes, Golovkin might go.
That's a big part of him, because no matter what, he has to put on all that weight so he can take those punches.
Exactly. So it's a catch.
Like I've seen a picture. I mean, I've seen a video that what's the guy's name? Ortiz Boxing made.
Uh-huh.
Where it could be possible that he didn't even really make 160.
Huh? Oh yeah, he did a video on that. Yeah. But I didn't
because it's like if you haven't seen it, the video, the way the video is so the guy's moving the little balance scale, and then Canelo is one of the guys who is Canelo's manager. He kind of just like does like a cut motion, like stop motion, and then the guy just stops moving the scale and reads off 160.
I would. When did I see somebody tampering with the scale as well? I know Castillo versus Corrales. I think the third time they were gonna fight, or the second one. One of the trainers tried playing with the scale, but wasn't there somebody one time that got up on the scale and then got off right away, like real fucking quickly, and the opposing team was saying, "Hey, wait a minute, what the fuck is this all about?" And the Nevada State Athletic Commission, I think it was the Nevada State Athletic Commission, didn't do anything.
Canelo jumped off the scale way quicker than Triple G did.
See, that's the thing then, yeah. I'll have to watch that video, and people out there watch that video as well, and then tell us what you think, because if anybody can get away with it, it's Canelo Alvarez, man. Las Vegas is one of his hometowns, you know what I mean, for boxing wise. He's the moneymaker, so it wouldn't surprise me if he got away with that. And then that means he has.
Who thinks Floyd Triple G is a 50-50 fight?
Now or no?
Now.
Yes. It's a close fight now. 2 or 3 years ago, I think Triple G knocked him out.
Seriously.
Yeah. Now, yeah.
It's
so
true.
You really think that Floyd will be able to use his masterful finger skating style of boxing to not get knocked upside the noggin and be slammed and thrown around by the God of War?
Triple G just he's not the last 2 fights he hasn't been cutting off the ring like he used to. He either can't or he isn't doing it.
Cutting off the ring is a relatively easy thing to do.
Well,
it's just a matter of how you.
Yeah, but he did. The way Triple G does it, he does it so well.
To do it is the way Triple G used to do it. Is he would do it really slowly, to the point where you'd keep trying to go to the side, and before you know it, you were up against the ropes.
Right.
All right. Well, Split D, I guess you have to go.
Yep.
Thanks for being with us, man. You any last comments? Any last something to check out or?
Nope. I'm gonna go wipe myself off on a plant.
All right. Well, you do that then. Then come back next week and tell us how that went, so we can try it out ourselves.
Make sure you use the soft side of the leaf.
Exactly.
Oh, it's a cactus.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
we got a masochist in here. We got a masochist. All right, Split D, thank you for joining us, man. We'll see you next week.
All right, take care, guys. Thanks.
All right, take care, man.
All right, have a great night.
You too, guys.
All right, that was the one and only Split D. Now, reverse. Let me tell you why I think Mayweather would give Golovkin a tough fight right now. First of all, if you don't want to, for the people out there that don't want to hear me talking and babbling, you can actually look
the
up
rehydration IVs.
Well, hold on. For the people out there that want to actually see a demonstration of what I'm going to be talking about, there's a video that we made on the BDA YouTube page. It's called Golovkin versus Mayweather fight analysis or film analysis, something like that. And I show you step by step why I think it would be a tough fight. Now, however, it would be an even tougher fight for Golovkin because of 2 reasons. One, he had a hard time hitting Canelo. Now, we know that Mayweather is much faster both of foot and reflexes than Canelo, even at 40 years old. And number 2, I think a lot of people underestimate Mayweather's size. A lot of people think that he's a small guy. You know, that was always a story with him about how he could make 147, blah, blah, blah. He's actually a big guy, man. He struggles to make... He even looked like he was struggling to make 150, whatever the fucking weight was against Conor McGregor. So at 160, he should be a pretty full fighter, you know, hydrated and everything, no IVs. And he's whatever you think of Floyd Mayweather, he's one of the most skilled fighters of the past 20 years. I think that's more than enough for him to give Triple G a very, very hard fight, man.
But what would he have that really Triple G wouldn't be able to do more?
That defense,
because we know if you ever Triple G, I mean, everybody acts like Mayweather's this masterful footwork artist. Everybody cuts him off. He got cut off and pushed up against the ropes by DeMarcus Corley.
Right.
And Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, you're right about
and Marcos Maidana.
Yeah, but...
And Miguel Cotto.
Who else? Castillo at 135. I mean, I get what you're saying. But listen, with Mayweather, he adapts to the guys he fights. Against Maidana, he was clinching a lot in the second fight. I have no reservations. I mean, I have no doubt that he's going to do this. He would do the same thing against Golovkin. He would pot shot him, and then grab him. You can't really clinch Golovkin, and Floyd definitely won't be able to do that. Golovkin will be way much stronger than him. I don't know, but see, that's the thing. I don't know about the strength part. He is a strong guy, Golovkin, but Mayweather's a pretty big guy, and sometimes skill can actually circumvent the strength. And on the inside, Mayweather is actually a pretty good inside dirty fighter when he wants to, with the fucking elbow and hitting you with the laces of his glove, putting it in your face. I'm telling you, man, I mean, I think it's a hard fight, and if you want to watch the video that we made about that, I think that speaks volumes about what I'm saying. Much better than I could ever could, talking here with you about it. Yeah, but we know Floyd will never take that fight. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, absolutely. So nobody get excited about us talking about this, because that fight will never happen. Exactly. This is for the nerds. This is for the boxing nerds. That the what if, and I hate what ifs, especially when it's a fight that could have happened and should have happened. It should have happened. Yeah. Because listen, Mayweather he's always saying, "I'll be best ever," right? TBE, the best ever. But to be the best ever, you have to take unusual risks. And he never, excuse me, and not even unusual risks. You just have to fight everybody in your divisions. Exactly. He wouldn't even fight his mandatories. Or even that's why he only had the IBF belt one time in his entire career. Exactly, or at least fight Sergio Martinez. He never even wanted to fight the guy. I mean, I know Sergio Martinez was pretty good, but if he wasn't going to fight Martinez, no way in hell was he going to fight Gennady Golovkin. He wouldn't fight Paul Williams. He wouldn't even fight Margarito. That's right. He never wanted a piece of Margarito, ever. And I do even want... if you... Yeah, go ahead. And I don't know if you've seen this video or not, but there's a video where they're at like this little party conference thing, and Margarito goes up to him and introduces himself to Floyd, and then as Floyd is being interviewed after he meets Margarito, he just keeps looking around the room to find Margarito. Yeah, I do. It's the same thing he did with Pacquiao at the weigh-in. Yeah, I remember that video from a couple of 10 years ago, I think it was, or maybe a little bit more. It was circulating around the internet. Yeah, he never wanted a piece of Margarito. That was a bad fight. I actually think he could have maybe beat Margarito, but it would have been a hell of a fight. Even Pacquiao, he beat Margarito pretty easily on paper, but I mean, he said afterwards, after the fight, he actually stayed in bed for a couple of days because of the damage of fighting such a big guy, Yeah, and he didn't even get hit that many times by Margarito. Exactly, so that's how hard it was to fight a prime Margarito, especially if Margarito was indeed having if he did have plaster in his gloves back then. Yeah, he became a lot of people underrated Margarito because of that hand wrap situation. Well, I don't even know if he did have hand wraps. I mean, it's hard to... Oh, no, he did. Yeah, I know, but it's... You can see it in the picture. Oh, that picture, I'm not even going to get into that, man. That's... I don't know what the hell that is. Could be anything. I don't know if it's plaster or not. But, anyway, Reverse, I think we've been here for 2 hours. Is there anything else you want to say before we go? What are the fights you would like to see at 115? Well, first of all, I mean, who was it that said now that he wants to take a break? Was it Sor Rungvisai? He said he wanted to take a break? I don't know, but I would rather see Sor Rungvisai take on Rungvisai. He went to the WBC convention and he asked for a voluntary defense. Okay, so that's what I was thinking. Okay, yeah, so he doesn't want to have a hard fight right away. Mm-hmm. But the fight that I would rather see would be Rungvisai against the Monster. That's the one I want to see right away, man.
Well, currently we do know that Estrada, he has his mandatory position.
Right. That's the thing. But I would rather see, and I'm a Juan Francisco Estrada fan. So either way, whoever he ends up fighting, Rungvisai, it's gonna be a good fight, and I'm gonna be pleased with it. But
and would you pick him or Estrada?
Oof. But see, okay, I'll ask you this. Do you think that Estrada, even though he doesn't have the power of Roman Gonzalez, and is actually a little bit less skilled, a little inferior, do you still think that since he's fresher, he gives Rungvisai a tougher fight?
Tougher fight than Roman?
Than Roman would ever could right now.
I mean, anybody can do better than Roman did in that second fight.
Right.
But he can probably give him some harder time because he is bigger than Roman. So he could probably provide some problems. I doubt that he's gonna leave himself that wide open, because we saw him in the Quadras fight. He wasn't really hesitant, but he was taking his time.
Yeah. That was a big risk.
He gave up a lot of rounds to wait for Quadras to tire, as he does in pretty much every fight. And then he started to counter him effectively, and he even got a knockdown.
Yeah.
Now, Rungvisai's chin is much better than Quadras' chin.
And stronger, like you said, and very strong.
And he hits way harder.
Yeah, I think, you know what, I would have to favor Rungvisai, man. But Juan Francisco Estrada he went toe to toe with Roman Gonzalez, and obviously I don't think he won that fight. Because I remember somebody mentioned last week that there are people out there that think that Estrada should have got the win over Roman Gonzalez. I think that's insanity. I thought Roman Gonzalez.
Yeah, I think that's insane too.
Yeah, Gonzalez clearly won, but that was Estrada going up against the prime Gonzalez.
Yeah, there are people who think Quadras beat Roman too.
Yeah, that actually I could see that. I mean, I don't see it, but I could.
I mean, I don't agree with that at all either, but it was much closer than the Estrada fight.
Exactly, that's what I was trying to say.
Comparing the two performances, Quadras did do better.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say through my fucking inane babbling. But yeah, like, I think Estrada at this point could have a shot against Wangek, but Estrada has very good stamina, so he could be able to withstand Rungvisai's attack for 12 rounds. But I just don't know if he has the punching power to keep Rungvisai honest or off of him. He's got pretty good power, though. He's got good sharp blows, but he'd really have to put it on, and offensively he would have to go to another level to stop or hurt Rungvisai. So that's how I see.
I think Inoue easily beats everybody in that division. I think Inoue, for somebody to beat him, he'd probably have to go to like 126.
Whoa, that far?
I think he pretty much easily, the only person he couldn't beat at bantamweight would probably be Yamanaka.
Okay.
And I still think, because Yamanaka's chin isn't really that great, that Inoue could probably take that fight, even though he would be at a pretty large height disadvantage.
Right. But see, when we're talking about a guy like... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
Okay, what I was going to say is this. When you have a guy that's as good as Inoue, who's a monster and everything, but he hasn't beat anybody really of note to really push him and test him, we tend to overlook everybody else out there, but you just never know how he's going to handle a certain style.
Yeah, but you gotta compare it, and you also gotta look at how he fought those guys. I mean, Quadras, a lot of people think that he almost lost to David Carmona. Now Naoya Inoue, he fought David Carmona. I think he knocked him down 2 times.
Yeah.
And he almost stopped him. It was a clean wash of a fight. He had no problems with Carmona.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He couldn't knock him out.
That is a very good point. That was a good.
And if you watch his first ever world title fight, he just easily bashes that guy to bits.
Yeah, you're right about that. But let's keep in mind that there's still a lot of good guys around the divisions, whether
and
North
Nieves, Antonio Nieves, the guy he fought last time, that guy was actually coming down from 118.
Yeah, so we don't really know how strong he was going down in weight. I mean, Inoue is fucking good.
I think he put on. To me, just visually, he was probably in the best shape of his life.
Yeah, look, Inoue is very good.
You saw his muscles were all rippling, and Antonio Nieves he thought he was going to be able to beat Inoue until he got punched.
Yeah, that's a.
Then he realized that wasn't really realistic anymore, so he just ran.
Well, I would have ran too, man. That's the type of power you can't stand in front of. But I want to see Inoue move up. Like everybody, remember, Roman Gonzalez, people were saying back when he was at 112, 115, like, oh, he could go up to 122. And we saw him hit his limit at 115. So let's see Inoue move up to, or even beat the best at 115 before we even talk about him beating guys at 118 or 120, let alone 126. I mean,
for him to do that, he has to actually get people to take the fights.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
because a fight that he's been chasing for a while, he's been chasing the Ancajas fight. But Ancajas just got scheduled to fight in England on the Carl Frampton undercard.
Okay. You know who I'd like to see Inoue take on, or anybody at 115? I'd like to see Donnie Nietes, who's a 112. Yeah,
I don't want to see Donnie Nietes at 115.
I do, man, because there's, I mean, at 115, at 112, he can't really make that much money there. I mean, I would love to see him fight. I think he's good enough to fight at 115.
I thought he looked pretty disappointing against Nantapech.
Okay, see, that's the thing. I didn't even fucking see that fight, so I don't know. I didn't know he looked bad.
That was his last fight where he got the IBF flyweight title.
Okay, so you think he's slowing down?
I think that he has not been looking as good as he probably should.
Oh boy.
Like Nantapech, he probably should have knocked him out.
Uh-huh.
And the same, like he fought, did you see him fight Edgar Sosa?
Yes.
And you remember, he went all 12 rounds.
Well, I mean, Edgar Sosa's got pretty good footwork. I mean, unless you're a guy like Roman Gonzalez, it's or you know, even Ryan Viloria, when Edgar Sosa, when he's his prime, couldn't knock him out. So Edgar Sosa's got a pretty good pair of kickers there.
Yeah, but Roman knocked him out in 2 rounds.
Yeah, I know, but that's not Nietes' style, you know? He's more like a boxer-puncher type guy.
Yeah, but Inoue is like an aggressive, hard puncher.
That's why I want to see him against Nietes, because Nietes is skilled and he's very durable and experienced. So that would actually be a good fight for anybody at 115, man.
I mean, I always wanted to see him fight Roman.
Yeah, me too, man.
And Donnie Nietes said he always wanted that fight as well.
So that's it. He should move up and cash out. He's already 35. What does he want to fight until he's 40?
Who knows?
He should do what was the name of that Argentinian guy that fought Nonito Donaire a couple years ago? Let me look it up.
Oh, you mean the guy Inoue fought?
Yes.
Narvaez?
Narvaez, yeah, Narvaez. He was a guy that was a long-term reigning champ at flyweight.
Yeah, and he actually kept his belt after that fight, so he was still the WBO super flyweight champ. His reign didn't end until he got knocked out in 2 rounds by Inoue.
Exactly, because he just went. He tried cashing out against Nonito Donaire. He knew he wasn't going to win that fight. That Donaire was too big, too young, too fast.
Yeah, and he cashed out versus Inoue. Like, he would go down from shots that didn't even hit him. Like a hook wailed over his head, and he went down from that.
Right. See, that's the thing. That's what Nietes should do. I mean, I'm not saying he should throw the fight, but I'm saying is he should cash out and just essentially try to fight the best and move up in weight and see what happens. Because he's 35, man. He's got to make it happen right now.
Right, yeah, he's actually the longest reigning Filipino champion.
That's actually a pretty good accomplishment, especially in those lower weights where there's been a bunch of people that like, what's his name? One guy, the Thai guy that was making a whole bunch of defenses back in the day, early 2000s. So yeah, that's Pong Saleg Wonjan Kam.
He was up at flyweight, right?
I run those weight divisions. I lose track of to be 115, 112, 108. It's all the same shit. Put on a couple of pounds and they're the same people. All right. So, reverse. Then we're going to call it a night here. We got some... I didn't even see, by the way, the Anthony Crolla versus Ricky Burns fight. Is that over? I'm going to check it out.
I'm not sure.
Alright, so we had the Eubank fight. That was a good one. Crolla beats... Well, spoilers, everybody. I guess I already have spoiled it. Spoilers, Crolla beats Burns by over 12 rounds. Scores were 116, 113, 117, 112. One saw like a unanimous decision for Crolla. And by the way, apparently Sam Eggington got upset by a Frenchman named Mohamed Biboun. He got outboxed. Holy moly. Well, that's what happens when you fight these French guys. You never know how good they are. French boxers, they can surprise you, man. They can surprise you. All right, so reverse lead. Yeah, go ahead.
Is Sam Eggington losing really an upset?
Well, it was an upset in and of itself. I mean, I don't think people expected him to lose against Frenchie over there.
I mean, just because you can take Paulie Malignaggi's punches, that doesn't really make you a high-tier welterweight.
I know. What I'm saying is Paulie could not box him, and all of a sudden Frenchie over here does. So that's an upset in its own way. All right, so
Paulie couldn't beat Conor McGregor.
No, he could. Even in shape, I think Paulie struggles against McGregor. I think he beats him in a real fight, but in a real boxing match. But a fat, out of shape Malignaggi past his prime, no, he doesn't get the best of Conor McGregor. And by the way, weren't they going to release the footage after the Mayweather fight?
They probably were, but then they lost. And I don't think they planned on losing.
Yeah.
Hey, have you seen the video where a guy does the voiceover of Robert Byrd's directions in the middle of the ring?
No, I haven't seen it. What do you write to see that? What do you write to see that? What should I write on YouTube?
I don't know what you write. I can try something. You just look up Conor McGregor, Mayweather, Byrd. I saw it on Facebook.
Ah, okay. Well, guys out there, look it up if you want to have a good laugh. Robert Byrd, who did...
Yeah, it's like... He says, all right, listen, I'm here for Floyd. I'm not here for you. Floyd can hit you anywhere below the belt. If you even touch Floyd's belt, you're disqualified. If you try any UFC stuff, I'm going to swing on you myself.
Well, hey, that's a... I mean, I understand it's comedy, but he actually did allow... He actually allowed McGregor to be pretty dirty himself, man, so... Hey, fuck that fight. Who gives a shit? It happened. It was what it was. Reverse, thank you for having joined us, man. It was good talking with you as always. Good show. Good opinions. We talked about the Eubank fight. We talked about Harvey Weinstein and his jerking off inside plant pots or pot plants, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Covered a lot of good topics. Thank you for being with us. Reverse, and I also want to thank Split D for having joined us. I want to thank King Bucho, who mysteriously disappeared during the podcast.
Just kind of left in the middle of the show.
Yeah, he kind of... I think he went to masturbate inside the pot plant. I want to thank Dono, Janko W, for having joined us on the chat. Split D as well. Hamed, who couldn't make it this time, but thank you. Victor Atkinson too. Hopefully you make it into the next one. Everybody that joined us, everybody out there listening, thank you for joining us. Reverse, thank you again for joining us.
Very welcome.
Oh yeah, well, are you gonna be there with us next week?
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah, because what we did this time is we actually started it after the fight, so that we could watch it as well and then comment on it.
Yeah, I was wondering why you didn't start at 5 like you usually do.
Yeah, well, Bucho put out an APB on Twitter supposedly announcing it, but I guess most people didn't catch that. With it's we gotta announce it with more time. I would love to do this after the fights, but I think it's a little too late. It's especially next week. The fights will end up probably at midnight or something, so we're probably gonna do it before the fights.
The best thing to do is to do a pre-fight show.
Yeah, well, that's what we usually do, and that's what we're gonna do next week. Cause post-fight, unless we did it on a Sunday, I don't know. Can you do it on a Sunday?
Maybe.
Okay, well, I'll look into that with King Bucho. We're gonna commiserate and and figure that shit out. So everybody, again, everybody out there who joined us on the chat, people in the chat room, you gotta come into the Google Hangouts and join us, hang out with us, tell us what you think, you know, voice to voice, so we can actually get some emotion off of it. And well, yeah, that's about it. This was a BDA live debate panel. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the next one.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. All right, see you, Reverse.
kind of kids consider him some kind of Einstein on a diamond mine grind. She was dumb fine, but not quite the type that you might wanna wine and dine. Couldn't find a pen, had to think of a new trick. This one he wrote in cold blood with a toothpick. On second thought, it's too thick.